And we are live. Tonight's gonna be a couple things. First, I will share my screen. First thing we're gonna be looking at is um, so opening night is tomorrow, and then opening day is Thursday. So let's do a pick'em of who I think is gonna win opening day. I'm going with the Pirates against the Mets. White Sox against the Brewers, Cubs against the Nationals. This one I'm 50-50 on. Can go either way in Baltimore. I think Baltimore is will have that opening day. Anyone can win. It's very unpredictable. Red Sox. Let's go with the Angels, Tigers. This one I'm 50-50 on as well. But then towards the Rays, they have a better roster, but I wouldn't be surprised St. Louis gets it at home. Rangers at Phillies. I think the Phillies, since their home team. If it was in Texas, I'll go Texas. Diamondbacks over the Dodgers. Let me check and see who's on the mound for that game for the Dodgers. I think it's Shohei. Could be wrong. Let's see. I have a strong feeling that it's Shohei on Thursday. Uh, don't look at these records. That's spring training. That 26th Thursday. Yamamoto. So yeah, I'm gonna flip that to Dodgers since Yamamoto is going. Cleveland at Seattle. Bibby, Bibby, against Gilbert. That can go either way, but I think Seattle has the better team. Double check the other pitching matchups. Yeah, Rasmussen I trust more than Nipator. Evaldi, Sanchez, that's a good matchup. Same with Screwball and Pivetta. Soriano, I have more faith in than Brown. It's gonna be a good matchup. Crochet and Abbott, and then Rogers, Ryan. Very interesting opening day matchups here. Cavalli and Boyd. Boyd, I think, has the upper hand since he's been in the league longer than Cavalli. Smith against Mizorowski. That's gonna be a fun one. Skeens and Peralta, another fun one. So I'm thinking I'm gonna stick with that. So let's do that. Uh, do that. And then I'm gonna do live reaction. A classic Oilers Titans game. Just give me a second, guys. Give me a hot second. I'm almost there. Tiebreaker question, March 27th. Who do I think who's going to win the game between the A's and the Blue Jays? I think it's got the A's. Rockies, Marlins. Orioles over the Braves. How many home runs will it be hit on opening day? Let's say it's going to be low because some areas are cold. Let's say 80 even. Let's just do that. All right. So I got that done. All right. And now, Nationals will have the worst rotation in baseball. Let me look at what Fangraphs has their rotation looking like. Projection. No. Roster resource. There we go. I wouldn't be surprised. But let's see. Cavalli, Michaelis, Griffin, Irvin, and Littell. That is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. You're right. The pen isn't as the bullpen isn't as good either, except for Verlander, Perez, Henry, Watercheck. I think Hertz and Graham Williams are really good, but they're injured. You're right. My gosh. Man. Wow. But it's opening day, so I would not be surprised that Nationals could get that win. So let me do another share screen, get to the main thing today, tonight. I was looking for the 0-4 one. It only will give me a highlight. I don't want the highlights. Unless I can do a different game. Let's see, it might be under there.
Next on CBS.
Pause that. Oh. This might be a good one. Hold on. Bengals. If they have it. Only have highlight of it. Okay. Oh. We do have it. All right, let's do it then.
Welcome you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Does that seem loud? How about I try Internet Archive? Yes, I have. Did that seem loud? I can turn that down. On your end, did it seem loud? The volume of that intro to the game, did it sound loud? It's choppy. Let's try it again, huh?
A new day's dawn, but this day...
Is it still choppy? Does it sound better? If not, I can do a different game. It's good? Okay. Turn on the... I will full screen it. Was it loud on your end for the volume? Or is the volume good? If not, I can just run with it with the volume as is. It's good. Tad loud. Okay, I'll turn it down. All right, let's try.
Day is special. It's opening day in the National Football League for the final time this millennium. Today is the renaissance of a franchise. The Oilers, after 39 years, have evolved into the Tennessee Titans. Jeff Fisher's team believes that this season they'll be a playoff club with a new look and a sellout crowd. The Titans today host their housewarming party. The Bengals are also here for the party. They hope to spring in of AFC Central rivals who've played now 61 times in the past. The opening kickoff is coming up in a moment. Opening day in Tennessee. And welcome back to Adelphia Coliseum in Nashville, Tennessee. We have seen the future in stadiums, and we're in it. I've never been in a better football stadium, Steve Tasker.
Oh, that's one of the great things about this job. We've got the best seats ever.
67,000 strong are here. The Bengals, coming off an 0-4 preseason, will kick it off. And back deep to the left is Spencer George out of Rice University. Joey Kent, a former volunteer from Tennessee, is to the right, number 86. Into the ball for the Bengals is Will Bryce, and here is a kickoff carrying short. Across the 25 and out to the 31-yard line is Joey Kent. And the tackle made just across the 31, so it will be first down and 10 there.
Bengals should wear these jerseys again.
Newton Curtis was down to make the stop for the Bengals. Here's Steve McNair starting his 5th year at quarterback. Most importantly, Steve is healthy. He had some nagging injuries last year. He's got everything, a great arm, great leadership abilities, and maybe his best attribute physically is his ability to run the ball. He knows the system, though, and they look to him as the leader of this team. 1st and 10. Eddie George is the go-to back. He'll get it a lot. On first down, McNair airing it out, going deep. There's a foul called. Blatant foul on the left side cornerback, Charles Fisher. They went right at the rookie from West Virginia. And Fisher did the right thing as the long ball was going down to Yancey Thigpen. And Thigpen would beat Steve, so he just grabbed him.
Well, it was a smart play, but you could tell when talking to both these coaching staffs, both of them were kind of licking their chops a little bit.
Automatic. First down.
One of the things, both these teams mirror each other a little bit. They both have very young guys at the corners, and both these teams feel like they want to test them.
So on the penalty, the ball is ahead to the 47-yard line. 17-yard penalty on the interference call against the rookie. Again, McNair, they're looking to air it out. Now McNair dumps it off. Wycheck, his tight end is running wide open inside the 30. Wycheck is inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line.
That's being outside here, especially back in the
A lot of people don't know who Frank Wycheck is. He's one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the National Football League. And it is a blatant mistake to leave him standing by himself as an outlet for Steve McNair.
35-yard gain on the play. Wycheck led the Tennessee team in. You see Tennessee in the red zone. They were the best. Only team in NFL history to get points every time. The red zone from 20 yards in on your opponent's side. Here's McNair rolling out. He runs well. He throws on the run and makes the connection down to the 1-yard line. Kevin Dyson coming across the field. Artrell Hawkins makes the stop. 17-yard gain.
On an opening day, there's no part of the season that has any more stress than the opening drive. Both teams want to make something happen early. And this is a huge boost for the Titans to come down and get 3 or 4 big plays and go right down the field to the 1-yard line right off the bat. It's a huge boost here on opening day in front of their home crowd. It's exactly what they wanted.
You couldn't script it better than this, Steve. Everything going Tennessee's way. McNair takes a look, swings it out, and his fullback, Lorenzo Neal, who doesn't get it thrown to him off it, he drops it, skims off his hands.
Underrated fullback.
Let's look now as we break down the Tennessee Titan offense. Good offensive line. Big Bad John, they call Runyon the right tackle. Matthews is an 11-time Pro Bowl player at different offensive line positions. Dyson was drafted, as you know, ahead of Randy Moss of Minnesota last year. Expect this to be the breakout year. Had a good catch in this drive. McNair, as a penalty marker goes down, throws across the field, and all of a sudden the Titans start to stall a little bit.
We spoke to Jeff Fisher yesterday, and one of the things he told us was, yeah, they scored every single time they got inside the 20. One of the problems was he felt like they settled for too many field goals. They would really love to score touchdowns this year rather than have Al Del Greco carry them offensively.
First and goal.
Offside. Defense, number 94. Half position to the goal. Repeat, second down.
So now it is second and less than a yard. Our official referee is Mike Carey. Double tights, power formation for the Tennessee Titans. Roan is aligned to the left. Got 3 tight ends in the game. Power set. George is the eye back. McNair takes it himself. He's in close, but no signal yet. We got one from Eddie George, Steve, but that doesn't count. Touchdown signal. Now they get it.
Oh, yeah, he was in.
So the Titans come out of the gate in a hurry. They wanted to knock Cincinnati down early and see if they could take their confidence away. This is a team that's gone through a lot of losing in the recent years, and this opening drive, a very impressive one.
Eddie George didn't touch the ball at all on the first drive. Steve McNair takes it in himself. That's a statement in and of itself. They scored on their opening drive of the game and didn't give the ball once to their star running back.
That's right. Eddie George never carried once. Now the point after by Al Del Greco. That was the first touchdown in the NFL's regular season this year. Del Greco, an automatic guy, booms it up and through with 13:05 left to play in the first quarter. The Tennessee Titans in their inaugural regular season game on their home field have jumped off to a 7-0 lead. Tennessee kicks off and we come back.
CBS.
It didn't take long for the Tennessee Titans to put up the NFL's first touchdown of 99. McNair on the payoff end, a 70-yard drive in just 4 plays. Now the Titans kick off. Willie Jackson is back deep. Picks it up on the second half. He can go from the University of Florida. Jackson breaks it across the 25 and out to the 27-yard line. Ball on the field. Titans think it's their ball. We'll see if they rule him down.
I believe the ground caused that fumble, and if they do give it to the Titans, I'll bet you that Bruce Coslett will appeal it. I don't think they're going to. He was down by contact. The ball obviously was popped out when he tried to reach for extra yardage.
Good call, Steve. That's exactly what happened. They are not going to.
On the field was a runner was down by contact.
That's it.
First down.
There's Bruce Coslett, a former tight end for the Bengals. Guy who said he's doing the best with the cards he's dealt. Ronald Pickens in uniform, not starting the game, though. They're going with Jackson. And now coming in motion is Darnay Scott, their fastest receiver. And up. They go to Corey Dillon. During his career against Tennessee, he's averaged 6 yards a carry. Here's Jeff Blake, starting quarterback, says this year he's going to be the leader of this team. He's going to be the man, make people accountable on the field and off. He only started 2 games last year. Neil O'Donnell, now a Tennessee Titan, was the predominant starter last season at Cincinnati.
That's right. Yeah.
Second and 8. Throw and a catch to Darnay Scott, working hard. Darnay works to the 40. He's ahead for a gain of 9 yards and a first down for Cincinnati.
We spoke to Jeff Blake yesterday. He said to us as he was getting ready, and it's interesting that he's going to call guys accountable because he said, you know, it's hard to be Superman every week.
Yeah.
He's got to get more help from these guys, and he's going to make sure that he commands it of them.
See the offensive line, a new look there, lots of new starters. Tony McGee coming off season, caught only 22 balls last year, only 1 for a touchdown at tight end. They expect more from Tony. Here is Jeff Blake. He's on the run, and he does it well. Blake's ahead for a gain of about 17 yards. And so the Bengals, who had virtually no offense in the preseason but showed nothing else, so they're Samari Roll, a second-year corner from Florida State. Very, very good player coming on. He's playing way off Darnay Scott, though, at the lower portion of your screen. And Corey Dillon breaks ahead, and Corey is down close to the 40-yard line, a gain of 5 yards on the play. He's a tough guy, Steve.
Yeah, they really are. These two teams are division opponents. They see each other a lot. And the Titans are still stinging from a game that Corey Dillon had 3 years ago. He set a rookie rushing record of 246 yards in one game. The Titans still talk about that game and what it did to them back then.
Players shaking up. There's a Tennessee Oiler down. Their defense was really formidable in the preseason. Tennessee Titans, it's old habits die hard. They were the Oilers for only 39 seasons, and this year they evolved into the Titans. Joe Bowden, one of their starting linebackers, is down. Bowden, an eighth-year player from Oklahoma. Bowden, all are very fast. Not real big backers like some teams have, but they all can run.
The defensive coordinator, Greg Williams of the Tennessee Titans, talked to us yesterday, and it would be a blow if Joe Bowden couldn't continue in this game. He's the only linebacker on the field that stays on the field through all 12 packages of their defense.
Here's what happened as we see the pileup. And looks like somebody might have fallen on Joe Bowden's leg as he went for the tackle. Good to see he's up, though. Joe Bowden walking off the field. He'll be back in. Talking to his teammate. Maybe it was Lane Bishop that got a piece of it.
So many times it's friendly fire that gets those defenders that injures them. They injure each other trying to get to the ball carrier.
We'll wait for Carl Pickens to show up on the playing field. He has not yet, as Steve had mentioned. Asked him if he is in good shape, if he's been working out. He just said no when we met with him yesterday. Okay, this guy's good. Over 1 2-year period, 95 and 96, he caught 199 passes for 29 touchdowns. He is a game breaker, a 7-foot high jumper. They'll throw the long ball, deep arcing passes to him when he gets in there, and he'll be in there. Dillon looks for room. Tough guy, Dillon, lost ahead, got 5, and he's very close to a first down. Henry Ford, defensive end, got him down.
You can see why Corey Dillon is such a difficult player to bring down. He is big, and that's really the trend. If these teams are going to have one guy to go to, he can't be one of these 5'10", 195-pound runners. These teams, both these teams, have big running backs that carry the load. They give him the ball a lot. Corey Dillon is tough to bring down with one guy.
Third and short. He'll play. 210 pounds, a quarterback. Head down behind his center. Rich Graham, Ryan DeMarco, and O'Dwyer, the guards, move it out. And it's a first down for the Bengals, so they're moving the ball. Tonight on CBS from director Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Ray Liotta. Nominated for 6 Academy Awards. Goodfellas. Tonight on CBS.
Good movie.
You laughing at me? Joe Pesci.
Do I amuse you?
First down. Blake, quick drop, near side throw. Got a guy with the ball, and on the run is Willie Jackson. And Willie Jackson is taken down 11 yards downfield by Samari Rolle, but he's got a first down.
One of the things that's important about this Cincinnati offense is their offensive line. We spoke to Bruce Coslett yesterday. And he said he's very confident they upgraded the talent level on this club at offensive line, but they haven't had time to come together and gel. And that's the question mark this early in the season.
First down and 10. Bengals driving after the Titans went 70 yards in 4 plays on the opening drive. Dillon playing hard. Kenny Holmes, the defensive end, a former #1 draft choice from Miami that they expect more from. Coslett not happy with no gain on first down. A big part of winning football, as you know, Steve, as a 7-time Pro Bowl player for the Bills, you got to win first down.
You really do, because that gives you an opportunity in second and third down not to get any unusual situations, 2nd and 15 or a 3rd and 20. Those are difficult things to convert. When you stay in normal down and distances, you give yourself a better chance to win over 4 quarters.
And they lost first down. The Bengals there. They lost a yard and a half. 2nd and almost 12. Blake swings it out nicely. Bobbled ball, though. He put it a little bit behind his running back, Corey Dillon. Dillon, the Rookie of the Year in '97 when he came out of the University of Washington.
Corey Dillon unhappy with himself. He feels like he should have caught it on one of the 3 chances he had to catch it in when he bobbled it.
And now, Steve, we have Carl Pickens coming on the field for the first time in '99. The man who held out said he'd never play for the Bengals again, but $3.5 million over a full year, 5 week is $70,000 a week. That could change your mind. Then he extended his contract yesterday to a long-term deal. Here's Pickens in motion. Pitch back, line ball. And a great play by Jeff Blake, if not a great play on the pitch back. Javon Curse, who was a game wrecker. He blows everything up. A loss of 14 yards on the play. And now a penalty marker comes in. And if that's a defensive penalty, even with the loss, it'll be a first down.
When you get down inside the 30-yard line, it's usually a bad idea to run a play that will take you out of field position. On a toss, that's always a question. That's always a concern. And in that play, the worst happened, and now they have no chance to bring points away from this drive.
There you have it. Personal foul signaled by referee Mike Carey.
Do that again. 97?
Curse, number 90. Blows the play up, but that's the personal foul came after it. We had people throwing each other down afterwards.
Javon Curse absolutely blew that play up.
Personal foul, number 96. Unnecessary roughness, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
Mike Jones. So the Titans are just infuriated, their coaching staff. Jeff Fisher out on the playing field. He's pulling Jones out of the game.
That's inexcusable.
That was a drive killer, that play where Curse came in and broke it up. And now look at this. 15 yards assessed against Tennessee. Ball moved down to the Titans' 23-yard line.
That's exactly the kind of thing that has plagued this franchise over the last 3 years. They've been 8-8, but there have always been in every season 2 or 3 games that have pivoted on key penalties or small mistakes. Last year, they couldn't get a field goal off to win a game, and this is the type of thing that they're going through today.
So the drive stays alive, and the personal foul call against Mike Jones of the Titans. First down, Blake, timing throw, got a guy. Whips it in to Willie Jackson, who goes high, comes down with the ball. Almost a late hit there. A 10-yard gain on the play. A lot of nice timing in this Cincinnati offense, Steve, other than that errant pitchback.
One thing that makes this possible is the fact that Jeff Blake can really run with the football, and the defense always keeps their eye on him before they do anything else. The wide receivers are getting that much more time, that much more room to get open, and the margin of error becomes larger and larger for the Bengals when your quarterback can make things happen.
And Blake throwing the ball well early.
3 for 4 for 30 yards. You'd love to get that stuff on.
First down, Cincinnati. Titans lead at 7-0. Corey Dillon. Dillon takes it down to the 10-yard line. Talked to Corey yesterday. He told us, I'm a 25 to 30 guy. I want it 25 or 30 times a game. Tennessee remembers this guy. September 12th, 1997. Bengals versus Tennessee. And Corey Dillon erupts for 246 yards rushing. The most by any rookie rushing in an NFL season. Broke the record previously held by Jim Brown.
I'll tell you what, there's still some scar tissue running around that Titan locker room because of that game Corey Dillon put on the field.
Today they shut him down pretty well, though. He's 5 carries, 14 yards. But now, though, he's going right down to the goal line. And is he in? He's inches away. If he's not, he was 5 for 14 before that carry, but he just broke off a 10-yarder. So he's 6 for 24. Marcus Robertson and Kenny Holmes were the tacklers on the play for the Titans.
Just a little draw play that lets the defense think about Jeff Blake before they think about Corey Dillon, and that's a big mistake. It gives him just enough to get a crease in the defense and takes it right down the field.
Blake. Give it to Dillon. He does it.
Easy, guys, easy.
Dillon is in, and so the Bengals answer right away. They were maybe possibly knocked down, but not out on that opening drive of 70 yards by the Titans for the touchdown. Titans thought if that happened today, these guys might have their dauber down and be coming off hangdog. Just the opposite. They came out firing to the Bengals.
And this touchdown was set up by a penalty when the drive was actually stopped. And that's what's gonna haunt this Titan team if they can't get those mistakes fixed.
Extra point by Doug Pelfrey is up and good. And so, a big moment for Coach Conlon and his Bengals. Touchdown drive. Welcome back to Adelphia Coliseum. As good a football stadium as you'll ever see, and maybe as good a game as the Cincinnati Bengals march right down the field after they fell behind 7-0, and now they kick off. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker, and here is Spencer George. In his wisdom, he'll down the ball. He had some room to go, but he elected not to. Timeout on the field as the Titan offense comes back out. They were formidable a moment ago when they were out there. Track the stats of your favorite players, plus New York Jets wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson is profiled in the NFL Insider Spotlight on www.nfl.com. Tie game, warm and sunny and sold out in Nashville. Titans have the ball for the second time. Took it right down the field on the opening possession. McNair in a 1-yard push for a touchdown. Throw and a catch. Tight end Wycheck, who caught 70 last year to lead Tennessee, is ahead for a gain of 10 yards. Knocked out of bounds by Steve Foley, outside backer.
In his career, Steve McNair has played 5 times versus the Bengals. He has never thrown an interception, has 8 TDs against him. You got to think that he's feeling pretty confident about going into this game, especially in a new home stadium.
Well, as you know, Steve, they want McNair to take more chances downfield. He threw a franchise low 10 interceptions last year, but some felt he was too conservative. He's got to air it out more, get the ball downfield. And that was the conservative tight end, far away the leading receiver. Here's McNair looking downfield. What a gun he's got. But a good rush was put on him. He was looking at Kevin Dyson.
One of the things about
Olhoffen was pushing up the middle, getting pressure.
Excuse me, Don. One of the things you talk about the Titans is that the reason he doesn't go deep is because he's got Frank Wycheck. He's such a sure-handed tight end. He caught more passes than anybody on the team last year, and he feels very confident in it. And it's a reward. If you go down the field deep, you're not going to complete as many passes as you do underneath.
That time it was well underthrown on the pattern to Wycheck. This is second down and 10. Officials fire the flags in before the snap of the ball. Could have a procedure penalty against the Titans. One of the things, Steve, that the
false start
was a false start.
Number 75.
Tennessee fans had no one to cheer. They said in the first preseason game they played here against Atlanta, the fans were cheering sometimes when they had the ball. It was kind of disruptive to the offense.
Yes, the offense had to start using hand signals so they couldn't hear each other. And usually it's the opposite. The home crowd helps their home defense by not letting the opposing offense hear. In this case, they were cheering at the wrong time.
67,000 strong at the Adelphia Coliseum. Second down. From the shotgun, McNair takes his drop. They give him time and he gets the open guy. Yancey Thigpen, the former Steeler, is inside. Almost to the midfield line. He's knocked down at the 48-yard line, a gain of 23 yards on the play.
That's exactly what Steve McNair has to do. Stand in the pocket. He had great protection. Waited. Yancey Thigpen ran a deep crossing route, and that's exactly the kind of route that'll warm Jeff Fisher's heart, going down the field, hitting the guy that's had a rough year last year in Yancey Thigpen.
A lot of injuries for Yancey. They really extolled his virtues as a leader and as a dedicated player. He had a terrific preseason. Eddie George gets the carry. That's first of the day. A defensive game plan to stop Eddie George. That's the first time he's got it. We're well into the first quarter, 4 minutes to play, and Michael Bankston was on the stop.
You've got to think that was part of their plan, not giving Eddie George the ball right off the bat. For whatever reason, they felt like Cincinnati was going to be in his lap all day. And now they've got to regroup and say, okay, now they're going to start giving the ball to Eddie George, and then they can go back and start throwing the ball if they feel like it.
See Eddie George, some tremendous numbers in his first 3 seasons. 3 years in the league prior to this. Twice a Pro Bowl player, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Ohio State. No gain on that play. Might have lost half a yard. Back to Eddie George. They get him again for no gain. John Copeland, number 92, was the 4th pick in the draft in the first round out of Alabama, 93, coming off Achilles tendon surgery. John Copeland back in good form in the preseason, and on game day, looking good.
One of the things about him, they say that Dick LeBeau told us he's the quickest defensive lineman they've got. He was a number 1 pick, and you can see it right there. Cincinnati, one of the few teams in the National Football League that play the 3-down line formation. And I think they do that because of the fact they have such fast, good young linebackers. They want to get as many of those guys on the field as they can, so they really don't want to fool with putting a defensive lineman in there and taking one of those young linebackers off the field.
They have 2 tremendous inside backers, unbelievably fast in the description of Coslet, Brian Simmons and Takeo Spikes. How about on the field? We're tied at 7-all. A lot of offense, both teams moving the ball well. Tie game, 7-7. 3rd down and 10. Tennessee Titans drop their quarterback into the shotgun. McNair dropping, looking deep. He can run and very well. He fires on the run. A strike to Dyson. This is the guy that was drafted 5.5 slots ahead of Randy Moss in the first round last year. Didn't do much as a rookie. He's doing it today. 15-yard gain.
They're really excited about Kevin Dyson's maturity. He's really aged, and once he's been around the block, once in the NFL, he really feels a lot more comfortable this year, a lot more confident, and Steve McNair feels more confident.
Jumped up in the draft when he was the MVP of the Senior Bowl. He played at Utah. First down, Eddie George. For some room, gets some ball on the field. Live ball, and the Bengals have it. The Cincinnati Bengals pop the ball free, and all of a sudden the drive comes to a screeching halt. Artrell Hawkins, who went from the University of Cincinnati Bearcats to the Cincinnati Bengals, put the pop on, freed the ball. Titans had only 19 turnovers last year, but they have a big one in opening day.
This, as good as this day started for Steve McNair, it couldn't have started any worse for Eddie George. Was held for just almost no yards in his first 2 carries, and then coughs it up on this last one.
So the Bengals will have the ball when we come back. A big hit by the cornerback, Artrell Hawkins of the Bengals, freed the ball from Eddie George, and now Cincinnati has it. First down and 10 on the turnover in this tie game. Blake, great fake, gives it some time, but then he loses the and finally does a good job getting back to the line of scrimmage and maybe head for a gain of a yard. People were hunting him, including Blaine Bishop, one of the best strong safeties in football. And there's a Bengals shaken up. It's number 8. That would mean that Achilles Smith would come in the game. They've got 2 rookies backing up Jeff Blake. Achilles Smith, the number 3 player picked in the draft. And Scott Covington, all of a sudden Achilles Smith, who has late into camp, missed 27 practices, could be the man early on as Jeff George is down. But
one of the things that happened on this play, Jeff Blake dropped back, and there were 8 guys pass protecting here on a play action fake. He had all kinds of time. The problem is there's only one guy in the pattern. And if that one guy isn't open, he has to tuck it and get what he can get.
Jeff's okay, though. He's up, but he has to come off for at least a play. So Achilles Smith, with very little time to warm up, but this guy's something to behold. At the draft, I saw his high school coach, as you see his phenomenal numbers at Oregon. I said, what makes Achilles Smith so good? His high school coach coached people like Marcus Allen and Terrell Davis at Lincoln High School in San Diego. He said, Achilles, the toughest man in the draft. Not a linebacker, not a down lineman in this draft as tough as Achilles Smith. He hands off on his first NFL play. Brian Milne, the fullback, gets it. They stay conservative. And here comes Jeff Blake right back in. So Achilles, a brief performance, a cameo, if you will.
Well, Bruce Costler's breathing a sigh of relief because he told us yesterday that Achilles doesn't even know what he doesn't know yet. So he does not want him leading the offense at this point of the season.
He's got 2 rookie quarterbacks. Also, Scott Covington from Miami of Florida. You described it. Cosler said they don't know what they don't know. They haven't been around long enough. 3rd and 8. So Blake will have to throw the ball. Lob pass. He's intercepted. Complete misconnection. Denard Walker brings it back for the Titans. He's inside the 30. Now Dundeely's down inside the 25. So Blake, who was dinged, I don't know if it's, well, you always have hindsight, Steve, and it might be a penalty marker down the far side. It might be something the band dropped. I think it is.
Well, this was not a well-thrown ball, and you have to wonder if Jeff Blake felt well enough to be back in there that quickly. Nobody knows better than Jeff Blake how important he is to this offense, and when you get in there, the adrenaline takes over, and you want to get back in to help your team, and he threw this ball very short. Willie Jackson was obviously the intended receiver, and that ball was nowhere near him.
That was the proverbial room service interception. I could have got that one.
Well, I don't know, maybe, but
I couldn't run it back 26 yards,
right.
though.
There's a lot of guys out there running around the field that really could have gotten that one.
So double turnovers now, one each way. The Titans drive was stopped. We're down to 42 seconds in the first quarter, and I don't know what's going on the rest of the league yet, but there hasn't been a better first quarter than this one as far as action. Big plays, big hits, turnovers, tie game.
This is really exciting environment because it is opening day. It's the opening inaugural game of this stadium, and it's something to see.
We're back at Adelphia Coliseum. Here's a replay of what happened a moment ago.
You'll watch how he hits his head hard on the turf, and even though they're playing on natural grass, Denard Walker, you can see there as his head slams down after the whip. Corey Dillon's got a lot of strength, and bang, that hurts, folks. Whether it's on natural grass, AstroTurf, I don't care. That hurts if you get thrown on your bed like that.
Yeah. Denard Walker, one of the fastest Titans. They talk about his flat-out speed. He can run down anybody. And they extol the way he's been improving fast as a cornerback.
That's one of the things they said about him. He'll just run people down, and that's the thing about the NFL. They draft these guys. Everybody talks about how fast everybody is, and the reason for that is if you do have a mistake somewhere on the field, your speed can overcome it. And when you get these cornerbacks out there, especially these young ones, they are so fast and have such make-up speed that they're not so adverse to putting these guys out there because they know they can really do some great things.
He's really hurting. That's a tough one. Denard Walker, it could be a shoulder.
Yeah, that looks more like a shoulder injury, and that'll happen as well. It's what usually happens to a quarterback when he gets rolled over on a sack when a defensive lineman will tackle him and land on their shoulder. But you can tell he is not feeling good right now.
Third-year player out of LSU. We'll take another look. How he really went down hard and slammed on his shoulder and his head.
He jammed his elbow into the ground and then rolled over the top of it.
But he makes the big play and helps the Titans now to challenge for the go-ahead points in the 7-7 game. First down to the 25. McNair firing on the run, and there's the reason Dyson was drafted so high. He's turning these cornerbacks inside out, a 12-yard gain to go along with a 17-yard and a 15-yard early in receptions. Coming up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report, join Jim Nance, Randy Cross, Craig James, and Jerry Glanville for all scores and highlights. That's all coming up, the NASDAQ Halftime Report.
One of the things that some people might not realize of what happened to the Titans in the preseason was that Frank Wycheck was hurt. And for that reason, the wide receivers got a lot more footballs in the preseason, which they didn't get in the regular season. I think Steve McNair is remembering that lesson that he learned in the preseason.
Timing throw, gets it to Dyson, he drops the ball. And we're down to 11 seconds to play now in the first quarter as that was a quick slant to Dyson. Denard Walker being looked at to be a little better off than he was, but that right arm, he took a real jolt to the shoulder.
Yeah, they're going to take him in to have him look. You can tell he's just not feeling it. And that's a tough break, especially when it's in the opening game of the season.
In 13 NFL seasons, have you been down that road, the shoulder slam?
Yeah, I've never been taken off on a cart, but my goodness, I've been helped off the field a number of times.
McNair got some time with that good running ability. He's got Dyson, and he's in the end zone. Kevin Dyson, touchdown. And Charles Fisher, a cornerback, the rookie from West Virginia, he's down in the end zone.
And that's amazing. Charles Fisher had coverage and then fell down and could not get up. He's still down where he fell. and left Kevin Dyson standing all by himself with nobody on him. He's in man-to-man coverage as Charles Fisher, and when he falls down, he cannot get up. You'll see there, just in the lower part of your screen, Kevin Dyson turned around, and nobody was there.
Gotta get him on here someday, guys. Do a one-on-one with him.
Dyson in the end zone with the touchdown, having a big opening day. He's so tired of the comparisons to Randy Moss, who had an all-pro season, the wide receiver who was drafted 5 slots behind him in the first round last year. Dyson Day, 4 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. That's why he was drafted number 1.
That's exactly right, and now he's starting to show he feels a lot more comfortable. Steve McNair's throwing him the ball all over the place today. It's almost as if they've been together for 5 years here on opening day of his second year.
So both teams seeing cornerbacks go down. Denard Walker of the Titans, after an interception and a return of 26 yards, slammed to the turf on his right shoulder. He's been carted off. And now the rookie is still down. I don't know if he twisted going for coverage. I don't think anybody hit him back there, Steve.
Well, you'll see him right here at the top of the screen. He goes down and he cannot get up. And he hasn't moved since. And I'll tell you, I was down on the field earlier. It's a great surface to play on. It could not be better.
Looks like artificial turf. It's such closely cropped grass.
It is so clean, so smooth, and so uniform. It's hard for me to think that the surface had anything to do with that injury, but by the same token, it does happen.
A lot of people looking at him. Coach Coslett waiting for word, and they're going to take him off, unfortunately, on the card. So both teams losing a starting cornerback to injury in the first quarter.
And these are two teams that can't afford to lose starting cornerbacks. They both got young guys out there. And the problem, and we've discussed this before, when you have a young football team, the problem is when you lose a starter, you have somebody even younger to put in behind the guy.
Word from the sideline, Denard Walker of the Tennessee Titans has a sprained right shoulder, and he is being x-rayed now in the locker room.
We'll have to wait and see what happened to Charles Fisher. That's
like a leg injury.
Yeah, that's an interesting injury. And obviously he tried to plant and cut back with Kevin Dyson in coverage and just couldn't get it done.
Well, you and I were doing a preseason game a couple of weeks ago when one of the Jets' best receivers, Wayne Crabette, just turned upfield and broke his foot. Nobody touched him. He wasn't even going that hard.
Exactly. It's just sometimes in this game you move a different way or you do something you haven't trained to do. Your body is asked to do a lot of different things, and sometimes it's a bad position you get in and something gives.
Tonight on 60 Minutes, a Russian KGB agent comes out of the shadows and reveals in detail how the Kremlin planned to wipe out the U.S. on 60 Minutes tonight.
I'll have to get that up.
Well, the ball has been advanced now to the 2-yard line for the point after try. After the touchdown catch by Kevin Dyson with 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Fisher was a second-round draft choice, the 33rd player taken overall. Both teams have very good rookies from West Virginia. The Tennessee Titans are very high on a defensive tackle, John Thornton, who also was drafted in the second round out of West Virginia. Point after try. El Del Greco up and through. And the home team Titans take a 7-point lead for the second time.
How disappointing it must be for Charles Fisher, not only to be hurt on that play, but also to have been carted off and give up a touchdown. That's it. Right now he's in the locker room getting looked at, probably getting x-rays, thinking to himself, how could it have been worse for me today?
So 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Bruce Coslett seeing his team rally back. It looked like they might have hit the knockout punch early. The Tennessee Coslett, who led his offense, show nothing in the preseason. Blake said to us yesterday he threw the ball downfield once in the whole preseason. And he went 14 plays, 71 yards. His Bengals did the first time they got the ball. We have a sprained knee as the initial diagnosis of the injury that sent Fisher off the field for Cincinnati. He will not return today. The rookie. Here is a high spinning kick down to Willie Jackson. Jackson across the 25. Penalty marker comes in from behind. The referee Mike Carey threw it. Terry Killens was on the tackle.
Terry Killens just put a huge hit on Willie Jackson. That's why I don't play special teams anymore.
Yeah, you did for a long time. Went to the Pro Bowl.
Holding on the return team, number 63.
7 times playing special teams. And that'll do it. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Tennessee Titans 14, the Cincinnati Bengals 7. We'll return to Nashville, Tennessee right after this message. And welcome back to Music City, a tremendous new stadium and a game to match on opening day. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker, a game of big plays through the first quarter. I think, Steve, we can expect a lot more.
Oh, this is been fireworks. Not only is the crowd way into it, it's a huge new stadium, beautiful. The teams have really stepped up on opening day, and it's going to be a lot of fireworks from here on out.
Well, you had 2 key injuries, though. A couple of cornerbacks have come out. Does that change the game plan? Now you start shooting at the backups?
It really does. You can count on these defensive coordinators to start protecting their quarterbacks by giving them help from the linebackers.
First down, Bengals. Jeff Blake, his last throw, as you know, was intercepted. Now he hands off Corey Dillon. And the men in blue are looking for Corey Dillon.
We've said it a couple of times, and I can't really overstate it. When you go in and talk to the Oilers, and I win the office pool for calling them that, but when you go in to talk to the Titans, they really are still smarting from the success that Corey Dillon has had against them in the past. Not just that one game that we've spoken about, but other games as well.
Well, that was your original team, the Oilers, for our friend, Coach Jerry Glanville. A man who recently was proud Milwaukee student booed as one as Jerry was introduced to the race. Here is a throw to the flat. Incomplete. Darnay Scott was going for the ball. And good coverage on the play by Danon Sidney, who's coming in to back up the injured Denard Walker. They went right at him. I guess they are going to shoot at the backups.
This isn't rocket science. If you've got a guy out there who's a backup who just came in cold off the bench, you're going to go right at him, especially, and they do it with Darnay Scott, their best receiver.
Wycheck has been a factor most of the time, but not in the offense as much today when Tennessee's had the ball. Tight end has been quiet for Cincinnati also. Let's see what they go on 3rd and 11. Sprint out. Penalty marker. Terrible throw. Mike Jones, who was called for that personal foul earlier in the game, put the pressure on, and he got a shot on Jeff Blake.
Eddie Robinson got in on Jeff Blake and caused that errant throw. Jeff Blake couldn't get anything on. That ball came out of there sideways and spinning like a helicopter. Trying to move Blake around there because they were feeling pressure.
On the offense, number 74. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Robinson looks pretty good, too.
So 4th down arises, and the punter, Will Bryce, will get the ball in his end zone, and if things go right, he'll kick it from about the 1-yard line, maybe the goal line. Titans in position now to get very good field position again, leading the game 14-7. Rice is blocked. It took all day to kick it. It's out of the end zone. That's a safety. 2 points for the Titans, and they'll have to free kick to their 20. Bryce kicking from his end zone. You know you're going to get an all-out rush. This guy kicked like he was warming up.
He really did. We saw the Titans practicing their block punt yesterday in practice, and their coach told them, listen, guys, you've all got to go because we don't know which one of you is going to pop loose. Nothing breaks the confidence and the spirit of a team like a block punt against them. Donald Mitchell is a great special teams player. That's the only reason he is on this team, and he showed it right there.
That energizes the Titans, and so they now take a 16-7 lead. The surprise scores Philadelphia up on Arizona 14-0. Colts up on the Bills 7-3. Opening day 99. Steve?
One of these things, Donald Mitchell is a guy who's going to play special teams all year. He's not going to get a start in any games as a defensive back. He's not going to start in do anything except play special teams. And to block a punt for your team is your one and only opportunity to put yourself right in the middle of the game. And he did it right there. That is a huge play.
A safety like that on a block punt isn't just 2 points. There's a very good chance it'll lead to a total of 9 points because they're going to have good field position on the free kick and might take it in.
And it's really bad luck that the ball bounced off his own teammate and went out of the end zone. Otherwise, they pick it up, run it in for a touchdown, and get it right there. That's the best case scenario, but by the same token, you'll see here as Will Bryce now gets a chance to punt it with nobody rushing it.
So Bryce doesn't have to worry about this one being he shanks the ball downfield. It comes out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. So Bryce, as a Cincinnati Bengal, gives them nothing so far today.
Well, he got the punt blocked, and then he shanked it and got another penalty because it's just like a kickoff. It's illegal to punt the ball out of bounds.
Automatic. First down. Timeout.
I think that's still the rule, did it?
On the other side, the Titans have the best punter in the NFL, Craig Hendrick, to average over 47 yards last season. They did it right when they brought NFL football to Nashville. The Adelphia Coliseum sold out 67,000 strong. And the Tennessee Titans in their home opener looking strong right now. Coming up after the game, stay tuned for the U.S. Open men's final. Andre Agassi goes for his second major of the year as he faces Todd Martin in the championship. It's the world's toughest tennis right here on CBS. Right now, it's NFL football and Eddie George. The Titans so far in the game have a total of 4 yards rushing, including that carry by George, where they passed for 127 yards.
One of the things, if they don't give the ball to Eddie George early, he's going to have a hard time being effective later in the game because it's hard to click it on midway through the second half. If they're going to try and run the clock out, if they need a good ground game later, both he and the offensive line need to work on it and get in a rhythm early.
Yeah, the great runners, the more they get it, the more they like it. Eddie George is one of those. The guys had over 1,300 yards his first 2 years in the league and had just 113 last year, 6 yards short of it. Here's Eddie George, a punishing runner. He looks to hit you before you hit him. Takeo Spikes, the man that Bruce Cosler once described as a heat-seeking missile at linebacker, nails him, but he does it 9 yards downfield.
Well, it's up to Takeo Spikes and Brian Simmons, the inside linebackers for the Cincinnati Bengals, to try and corral Eddie George and keep him from getting loose. They have great speed, but the problem is when you're chasing Eddie George, you have to tackle him when you get there, and he's not that easy to bring down.
And that, we're told, Steve, is the first safety that Tennessee has gotten in 45 games. First 2 points they've gotten out of safety. Here's George. He breaks the tackle. He was stopped on 3rd and short. Breaks ahead. Gained about 6 and a first down. Coming over to get him was cornerback Artrell Hawkins.
Now you can sense a little bit different thought process with the Titans play calling. The first 2 series really, Eddie George never touched the football, and now he's getting it every down.
Rodney Heath is in at the left corner. He'll be at the top of your screen as they break out. He's in for the injured Charles Fisher, who went out with a knee injury on a touchdown catch by Dyson of Tennessee. McNair buying time on the beautiful runner. Does the right thing and gets out of bounds. First down run, a gain maybe of a yard on the play, run out of bounds by Brian Simmons, who has tremendous speed at 250 pounds.
You might begin to wonder why the Titans didn't do exactly what the Bengals did and go after the backup cornerback that came in place of Charles Fisher.
I was wondering that.
But they decided to give it to Eddie George, and once again doing the unexpected in their offensive play selection rather than early in the game giving it to Eddie George. They give it to Steve McNair, and now it's just the opposite.
Well, they're going after him right now. Rodney Heath is playing way off Yancey Thigpen at the top. Second down and 11. Markers come in as they delay a game with 11:25 left to play in the first half, and the Titans, as you see in the lead, 16-7.
head coach of the Titans told us yesterday,
On the offense, 5 yards, second down.
one of the things they were concerned about in their offseason self-study when they looked at themselves, they said, we've got to get our plays in a little faster and give McNair a little more time at the line of scrimmage. We got way too many delay of game penalties last year. Now this year, that's the first one of the new season.
That seems to be a problem for almost everybody in football, getting the game to play in fast enough.
Well, you would think with the helmet radios, it wouldn't be a problem, but it has been for everyone.
Second down and 16. McNair looking at his wide receivers, looking to change the formation. He gets Big Pen coming to the near side now. They load up there with 3. Not much protection. McNair stands in. Here comes the rush. Fires incomplete. That'll bring up third down and 16. He was looking at Wycheck over the middle. Takeo Spikes dropping back in coverage.
One of the things you do on second and very long is just try and get half of it back. Give yourself a normal down and distance on third down. So instead of being 3rd and 16 as it is, it would be 3rd and 7, which would be a much better shot to do. That's the philosophy, but you still got to execute it.
Now let's hear they execute now on third down and 16, trying to capitalize after the safety. Again, McNair, now he comes up under center. Sweet pass. Eddie George is on the run. He'll go and they get him down way short of a first down, though. He needed to get down to the 27-yard line. They knock him down to the 32 after a gain of about 12. Brian Simmons got him.
That was
There's
a
long
key
field goal
play.
try.
That was a key play, for one reason. It didn't get him the first down, but it did put him in field goal position. Now they can bring Al Del Greco out, and he'll try approximately a 50-yard field goal, which is at the edge of his range. But on a perfect day like today, he's got to think he can make it.
Al Del Greco going for his 300th career field goal. His longest career is a 56-yarder. That was back in 96. He is at the edge of his distance. He hits it well. Ball spinning. He's got it. Al Del Greco, his 18th consecutive field goal. That ties his own club record. His 300th field goal extends the Titans' lead to 19-7. Tennessee kicks off when we come back to Nashville. Al Del Greco with his 300th career field goal in the NFL just extended the Titans' lead to 19-7. This is perhaps the best golfer among all the professional athletes in America. Plans eventually play on the senior tour. Right now, he's playing well. This is Henry kicking off. Ball comes down to Willie Jackson of the Bengals. And he is out to the 23-yard line.
There you see Al Del Greco. He almost retired in 1991, 8 years ago. But now he knows these guys keep track. Kickers are great accountants. They know how many kicks they have outside what distance, from where. Al Del Greco knew exactly what he did just then in tying his own team record and hoping he gets another one today.
Well, through the 98 season, he has 836 points. Franchise record. Jeff Blake, only 30 yards passing, 3 of 7. He's been picked off once. Darnay Scott on a quick out.
That's just like a long handoff. They want to try and get the ball in Darnay Scott's hand somehow, some way, and hope that Dane and Sidney can't play up to the same level as Denard Walker, who's out.
That's surprising, Steve Tasker. We've not seen Pickens. We thought he might be in there more. Maybe he was legit when he said he hadn't worked out 2 months.
He seemed honest enough.
They weren't giving many answers yesterday, the Bengals. Here is a throw up the middle. And Darnay Scott makes a nice play into the teeth of the defense. He's ahead for a gain of 11 yards and a first down.
That's something we sat down with Pickens and Darnay Scott yesterday. And Darnay said, you know what, I'm glad Carl's back because I don't have to go over the middle. I take all those hard routes over the middle. And this is exactly one of them. This is a Carl Pickens route that he has to run now that he's the guy. He doesn't like, for some reason, he doesn't like that violence in there.
He's a deep threat guy, though, Darnay Scott. He does. Corey Dillon, he likes the violence. He likes to take on tacklers and bang them. That time he gets hit and knocked down for a loss of a couple of yards. It'll be second down and 12. Tacklers on the play were Javon Curse and Phil Glover.
the Titans are notorious, and as are a lot of teams in the NFL, the way to stop the run is just put more guys up around the line of scrimmage. The question is, can you both defend the pass as well as the run when you do that?
Well, he is a weapon, Javon Kurtz. He ran right over Willie Anderson. Very good tackle. And Tommy makes the throw and the connection. Arne Scott comes down with the ball. Beautifully timed. And they'll knock him out of bounds close to the 45-yard line and close to a first down. He's on second. Third down coming up if he didn't get there. Here comes Carl Pickens coming in the game.
And now coming off.
And he's right out.
So he was just a couple of pounds overweight. He usually puts on a little weight in the offseason, as is normal for most NFL players. It's tough to work as hard as you do during the season, during the offseason. But he says it's really nothing that unusual. But I'll tell you what, Carl Pickens is going to have a hard time catching up physically with only 2 days a week of practice. Normally you get about 2 hard days a week in the NFL, Wednesdays and Thursdays. He's got to do that to get in shape.
That's what Bruce Coslet said yesterday. He said the next 3 or 4 weeks are his training camp. When he's on top of his game, he's one of the great players at the receiver position in the league. Blake takes a look. That's a go. Oh, he's kicked off.
Nice.
Dane and Sidney, who came in for the injured Denard Walker, gets the second pick of the day, and we could see Achilles Smith before you think.
You got to feel good for Dane and Sidney. They've been picking on him ever since he stepped on the field in place of Denard Walker, and he got a little of his own back on that play, stepped right in front of the receiver. It was well played. Jeff Blake had to throw from the opposite hash all the way across, and that's dangerous for the second turnover for the Bengals.
We're back at Nashville, Tennessee. First down and 10 for the Tennessee Titans. McNair hands off to Eddie George, but cut back by a 240-pound back, and he's knocked down at the 50, gain of 5. And now it's back to the men of CBS and the Titans and Bengals. Opening day 99. Delayed trap, Eddie George. Ball on the field. Who's got it? Dropped it up once, you remember. Artrell Hawkins was the guy that freed it the first time, and he gets a shot at him again. Greg Myers and Myron Bell are also big hitters at the safety position for Cincinnati. Titans keep the ball. Eddie George now 8 runs for just 24 yards.
Artrell Hawkins, the cornerback for the Cincinnati Bengals, is not feeling himself. He got up limping after that big pile got caught. When the ball came out, everybody jumps on it. And if you happen to be laying around it, you get caught in the traffic.
Long ball. Dyson. Kevin Dyson having a career day, just eating up the secondary of the Cincinnati Bengals. Phenomenal day for Dyson. As good as advertised. Rookie year wasn't much. As a sophomore, he's been a great one so far. 47-yard touchdown.
He is having a career day, our opening day of 1999. It looked as though when he caught this ball, it looked like it was going to get tipped. Even he hesitated, didn't catch it cleanly, but had the presence of mind to sidestep the pursuit and walk into the end zone. What a great play. Steve McNair's really got to love the way that wide receivers are working and getting open thus far today.
Time and again getting open. Extra point. Up and good by Del Greco as the lead is extended now at 25-7. Dyson caught only 21 passes last year as a rookie. Just 2 for touchdowns. He has 5 catches today, 2 for touchdowns. Kevin Dyson of the Tennessee Titans was with his first career 100-yard receiving day, and he's done it with 5:32 still to be played in the first half. Got 2 touchdown balls today. Another kickoff. Ball comes down to Craig Yeast, a rookie from Kentucky. He's the guy that caught all of Tim Couch's passes at Kentucky, or many of them. People wonder why they drafted so high. He's so small. He's only 5'7", but he ate up the best corners in the Southeastern Conference, like Champ Bailey.
This is the touchdown. You'll see here the safeties, instead of some will go under, this stops the crossing routes, but it does leave them vulnerable if they get deep. You'll watch here as the first Titan receiver goes right down between the hash marks. They all follow him. Then they can't get back outside to help on Kevin Dyson, and he walks into the end zone.
21 catches as a rookie, 5 already today for over 100 yards and 2 TDs. Corey Dillon runs the ball, gets across the 25 to about the 27. Baron Wortham, middle linebacker, makes the stop. So this is a critically important drive for the Bengals. They've got to put something up before halftime if there's to be any hope for them.
They really do, and they'd love to get a touchdown. They can't be happy with just 10 points. They'll be down more than 2 touchdowns. You start talking about 2-point conversions already at this point in the first half. Things aren't looking good, but they've got to get some points on this drive.
Jeff Blake struggled in the preseason, only 44% completion, struggling again today. Handoff to Brian Milne, the big fullback. And he is still going out across the 50-yard line. They weren't looking for him. Javon Curse finally ran him down. A 27-yard gain for the former Penn State Nittany Lion.
How about Javon Curse running down from his defensive line's position and catching from behind Brian Milne? You'll see there right there, coming off number 60 at the top. Brian Milne breaks at the outside. Watch Javon Curse
20-yard rush.
Chasing him down. It's something when your defensive lineman shouldn't be able to do that.
Milne, they don't call a freak. They call Javon Curse a freak. Kenny Holmes is down. See the injury here, Steve.
The upper left right here, you'll see there, he just got tripped up, and right there, hyperextended. That could be anything. Oh, goodness. That could be anything from a knee, an ankle, to a hip, to a low back. I mean, it's impossible to say, but it did not look good.
Kenny Holmes, who had a very good preseason, a former #1 draft choice. Tonight of the Coming Up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report, join Jim Nantz, Randy Cross, Craig James, and Jerry Glanville for all the scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report. Some possible upsets in the off. The Colts looking good against the Bills today. The Eagles, who had a tough preseason, looking strong against Arizona. They'll check it all out.
Try to break out here. That
looks good to see that Kenny Holmes walking off okay. Looks like it's a temporary nick.
I've seen, you remember the great player, Bo.
See the quarterback comparison so far today. McNair having a big day. He's the guy they expect him to lead the way into the playoffs and well into the playoffs. This is fifth year. Handoff goes straight ahead. Kyjana Carter, former Penn Stater, who was the #1 pick in the entire draft. And Bruce Kozla talking yesterday said he'd never seen guy have the tough luck with injuries that Kyjana Carter's had. On his 3rd play as a rookie in the first preseason game, Kyjana Carter, number 32 for the Bengals, suffered a knee injury that required surgery, out for the season. Last year, I think he had a fractured wrist. It's been one thing after another, but he's been looking very good. Blake on the run, turns it upfield, gets all he can, and steps out of bounds. Jason Fisk runs him out of bounds, 97.
That's one of the things about Jeff Blake. He told us yesterday he started 2 games last year and was the 3rd leading rusher on the football team. And that's both a plus and a minus. It's a plus for Jeff Blake and his abilities. It's a minus for the Cincinnati Bengals that they didn't have anybody else that would have been any better on the ground than their quarterback, who only played in 2 games.
See Blake's rushing number so far today, 3 for 32. He was dinged, knocked out of the game for a play, and then came back in and threw the interception when he ran earlier. Throw up the middle, Darnay Scott racing for the end zone, and he's down to the 2-yard line. Darnay's got jets.
That was a great offensive call because Darnay Scott was matched up with Baron Wortham, a linebacker, and that's just something that comes from scouting film and making sure when we get in this formation, we've got our best guy on one of their guys that shouldn't have any business covering him. And that's part of a game plan that came through very well for the Bengals on that play.
Yeah, it came through with a big gain down to the 2-yard line. Spread formation. Blake looked to run it himself. That was a call play. Jason Fisk, who played last season for the Vikings, Number 97 makes the stop. They really like Jason Fisk. They didn't realize he was as quick as he's shown.
But one of the things that they noticed about him is he's so strong inside, and also they said he's intelligent. And when you get a quarterback who runs a draw down close, you need a smart guy in there to sniff it out, and he did exactly that. That's a smart play by an interior lineman.
We talked about this being a critical drive, and now they have to take it in to get back in the game, inch their way back. The Bengals. Second and goal from the 4. Draw play. Kajana Carter, he's down to the 1. Bruce Kozlik is a play-calling master. You'll remember that he had the #1 offense in the NFL for a couple of years in the late 80s when the Bengals were loaded with talent. And his offensive coordinator is a guy who was a 2-time most valuable player in the NFL, former quarterback Kenny Anderson. So they got to dig down deep now and get the right play. The Titans were talking yesterday when we met with them about their fans cheering at the right time, and this is the right time. They kick in with a home field advantage to try to disrupt the opposing offense.
This is the one thing they have lacked for 3 years. We were teasing some of the Titan front office people. They've been like homeless people for 4 years, and now they moved into a mansion on the hill.
Well, they did move into a mansion. Eddie George says when they first came here for the preseason game, it felt like they were in the NFL for the first time. Here's Carter busting down and close and in. Well done by the Bengals as they go to a power sweep to Kajana Carter. A 2-yard run, but he went about 15 or 18 to get it. Going wide, and he's in the end zone, and the Bengals are on the board for a second time.
When they get down so close to the end zone, the field widens. It doesn't become deep, it becomes wide. So you run the sweep to try and find a seam for a running back to just poke his head in and try and get to the end zone. And that's what that play is all about. Those are plays that you can only run, really. That is a red area run play. The line surge is there. They just tell these guys when they run wide, just stay on the defenders and don't let them get an arm out. Just give our running back a chance to get to the end zone, find a crease, and that's exactly what happened.
Brian Milne had a good series. He had the 27-yard run up the middle, the fullback, and then he had the lead block on that power sweep that led to the touchdown.
We said at the beginning of the drive they really needed to score a touchdown here to keep them close going into halftime, and they did exactly that.
With the score 26-13, Bruce Kozlik looks at the probability chart that's made up by mathematicians in the offseason, and the right thing to do, according to that probability chart, is to go for 2. Try to make it 26-15.
Well, it makes it instead of a 12-point deficit, it makes it an 11-point deficit, so that with another 2-point conversion and a field goal, you can tie the game.
Blake makes the handoff. He looks. He's got a wide open guy in Willie Jackson, and they get the 2-point conversion. So the Bengals aren't done yet. It is now a 26-15 game, Tennessee. The Bengals kick it off when we come back to Nashville. Bruce Kozlik talking things over with his tight end, Tony McGee. But the Bengals go right down the field after they fell behind by a huge margin. They were down 26-7. They come back and score 8 points. 6 on the 2-yard run by Kajana Carter, and 2 on the 2-point conversion throw. Blake to Jackson. Eight-play drive, 77 yards. High spinning kick hit downfield. And here comes Spencer George running the ball for the Tennessee Titans. He's been on and off the team for 3 years. Coach Jeff Fisher told us yesterday, working his way back on. Tackled by Renard Wilson. The Cincinnati Bengals are heading to a new stadium, also a beautiful new stadium, Paul Brown Stadium. And there is the architect's rendering of what it's going to look like.
There's new stadiums popping up all over the NFL, and I'm telling you, they are really something to see.
You can see construction well underway. And here it's very similar probably to this stadium. Certainly looks from the architect's rendering, and this stadium is sensational.
After dozens of new stadiums around the country, they're finally starting to get it right, aren't they?
They really are. Another guy getting it right, Steve, is McNair. 9 of 13 for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. As his numbers build now to almost 200 passing yards in the first half. Hitting Chris Sanders with his first throw. Paul Brown Stadium will have 65,600 seats, 144 private suites, 7,600 club seats.
It really has become, the NFL is really a different kind of professional sport. It's a happening. I mean, it's a festival every weekend that you have a home game, and that's why it's so different than the grind, everyday grind of a baseball season or a hockey season.
McNair dropping on second and short. In trouble, he's on the run, and he can go. Sliding to a halt, almost a late hit put on it by Artrell Hawkins. Roosevelt Blackman also on the play. A 9-yard gain and a first down for the Titans.
One of the things the Titans feel comfortable in is their 2-minute offense. They run it quite a bit. They practice on it quite a bit. Steve McNair is a great 2-minute quarterback for that reason right there. He makes things happen. He stays alive.
John Copeland is down. Defensive end. Big John coming off successful Achilles tendon surgery. It ruined his 98 season. Bruce Coslin with the coach's lament, the coach's question. What next?
After this,
I believe the Titans are going to be awarded their timeout back because of the injury to John Copeland. They will not be charged with the timeout that they just called to stop the clock.
In 6 career games against the Cincinnati Bengals, Steve McNair now has 10 touchdown passes and no interceptions. So he's gotten well against his team. Last year, the Tennessee defeated Cincinnati twice by an average margin of 33-14. They beat them by a combined score of 67-28. These are the longest standing rivals for each team. This is the 62nd meeting over the years between Tennessee and Cincinnati. Our producer today for CBS Sports is Jim Rickoff. Our director, Steve Milton. Executive producer, Terry Ewert. We're coming to you from Adelphia Coliseum. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker on opening day 99. And the Tennessee Titans, a team regarded around the NFL as having one of the best rosters from a talent standpoint, playing like it today after 3 straight 8-8 seasons. They've got the mandate from their owner, Bud Adams, to make the playoffs. McNair against the big rush, takes his time, throws downfield with Big Ben. Ball on the field. It's live. It's the Bengals' ball. On the run is Myers. Rodney Heath knocked it free. These officials doing a great job. They're right on top of the play. That was a live ball. And when you see the officials running with the guy, you know it's live.
What happens is when that ball comes loose, both officials take a little blue beanbag out of their pocket and throw it right at the spot, and then they start chasing the ball just like the defense. That is a huge break for the Cincinnati Bengals. They brought a lot of people right up the middle of the formation. You'll see here, Steve McNair drops back. Everybody's coming right at him. There's man-to-man coverage all over the field, and Yancey Thigpen does exactly what he's supposed to do. But before he can tuck the ball away, it's knocked loose, and it's a turnover.
31-yard gain on the pass, and now a 19-yard return as Greg Myers picks it up, a former first-team All-American from Colorado State. Blake looks, he throws, makes the connection. Tijana Carter working hard, does the right thing, gets ahead for a first down and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:06 left to play. Instant replay rules back in the NFL. Here's how it works. The coach's challenge. 2 challenges per team will cost the team a timeout unless the call is reversed. So if the coach calls for a timeout, it doesn't go his way, he loses the timeout. In the last 2 minutes of each half in overtime, only the upstairs replay people can tell the referee, we should look at this. Here is the throw downfield, connected to Willie Jackson. He's down to the 37-yard line. So Blake really coming alive now.
One of the things about that replay is they review every single play that happens upstairs. The coaches don't have to worry about it. And now how quickly things change when the Titans were about ready to score. Now the Bengals are coming right back.
Man, are they? They look good moving the ball. This time to Darnay Scott, who was so fast. Averaged 16 yards a catch through his first 5 years in the league. Got 17 on that one. And 39 seconds remain in the first half.
Both these teams really having a lot of success throwing the football today.
They have.
Not something we really expected. Both these teams rely so much on their great big running backs to get the ball, get it done. that is kind of a surprise, I think, for both of them.
Bruce Coslett going over the game plan. Corey Dillon of the Bengals, their lead rusher, man who's averaged 6 yards a carry against Tennessee in the past. He right now is getting an IV intravenous for fluids. He's cramped up a bit. Temperature in the 80s here in Nashville. Beautiful day, sunny and warm. The Titans, their coaches told us yesterday they really feel their team is in particularly good shape. They had 2 weeks of 100-degree temperatures for 2-a-day practices.
Well, they told us that, and they said, man, it was terrible. They were looking around and they were shaking their heads. They couldn't believe they got it done, but they knew if they could suffer through it, it was really going to help them on days like today.
Yeah, what won't kill you, I guess, makes you better. Pickens is in the game. He's wide to the left. Blake's looking. He's firing. He's got a guy. It's overshot. Greg Yeast, a little speedster from Kentucky, can't get to the ball. Guy caught 85 passes for the Wildcats of Kentucky last year in 11 games for 1,300 yards. Football season is here. Get a complete and in-depth look inside the NFL with team-by-team breakdowns and week recaps. When you've got to know more on the NFL, log on to cbs.sportsline.com. It has the whole story. Dropping to throw. Jeff Blake standing in. Time effectors. Got a guy. He makes the catch. He's out of bounds at the 10-yard line. An enormous development just told to us. Vinny Testaverde, who led the American Conference in passing percentage, led the New York Jets to the AFC Eastern title and to the AFC Championship game, out for the season. Left Achilles tendon ruptured in the game against the Patriots. More on the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim Nansen will be going over that. And would now look at a very wise move. Parcells picked up Rick Meyer from the Packers before the last preseason game, so he takes over as the starter. Throw, catch, Carl Pickens. Down inside the 5-yard line and down to the 3. First down. Game clock running down to 17 and ticking. 9-yard gain on the play. And Blake wisely downs the ball with 11 seconds, time for 2 plays.
And this is a crucial situation. And, you know, you see guys revert to what they know best. Jeff Blake's no different. He knows Carl Pickens better than any wide receiver on the football field. Even though they haven't been in training camp together, they have a lot of confidence in each other. And those last 2 throws were to Carl Pickens deliberately. He was looking at nobody else. And that's why they wanted Carl Pickens back in the lineup. This guy can break a game wide open when he's healthy and when he's in shape.
Pressure on the defense, pressure on the offense. 11 seconds left. Blake takes a look. Timing throw, lobs it down in, and coming down with the ball. Is it a touchdown? It is. Penalty marker's down, but it's down in the backfield of the Titans. Tony McGee, who had only 22 catches, only 1 for a touchdown. The big guy from Michigan extends and gets the ball with one hand. The official right on top of it.
Holding.
Defensive holding call. Play goes. And all of a sudden, the Bengals are far from gone.
And now the Bengals also are going to go for 2 here.
Good game so far.
Jeff Blake is going to drop back and put this where only his guy can catch it, but it's going to take a huge effort. Tony McGee gathering that in, getting his knee down inbounds. That is so huge. And the thing that kills you is not the turnovers. It's when the other team can really take advantage of them. You lose an opportunity, and they may take advantage of their opportunity. That's a 2-touchdown swing, that last turnover by Yancey Thigpen.
Coslett and his staff had his team well prepared. This is a team that had an abysmal year last year, drafted 3rd. Their 3-13 year, winless in the preseason for the first time since 1983. But the Bengals, who looked like they were getting blown out, are standing tall now, going for another 2-pointer. Here's a lob ball, jump ball for Pickens. Penalty marker on the defense, look at another shot at it. Samari Roll, a jump ball to Pickens, who in high school was a 7-foot high jumper.
One of the things we talked to the Titans about, how do you defend that? Jeff Blake is the only quarterback who throws the ball like this when he throws it way up high in the air like a rainbow, and it's difficult to defend because nobody else throws it. So what they do is they just throw the ball as high as they can. And the thing we talked to we spoke to Blaine Bishop, the all-pro defensive back for the Titans. He says, well, the problem is the ball is in the air so long, it's difficult to adjust to it and wait on that football to come down. And in that case, they just got impatient.
Going for two again. To the run.
Nope.
And the Titans shut it down. Mike Jones gets the block, makes the hit, and the first half now down to 6 seconds to play. But the Titans lead, which was 26-7, is now down to 26-21.
No secrets here. Watch the push. The Titans get great penetration. Jones just comes right through, gets a hand on, and that is all it is on a two-point conversion. Watch how this ball comes just over the top. This is the touchdown. And tip it up and tip it to yourself. Excellent play by Tony McGee. He knows how big that touchdown was.
Of course, the two-point conversion, if successful, would have brought them within a field goal. But we've got 47 first-half points. We have only just begun here, Steve.
There's a lot of football to be played, and just when it looked like the Bengals were going to get knocked out, they've battled back with two quick scores here late in the second quarter, and that, you got to tip your hat to them. It would be so easy for them to think about last year and really the decade that they've gone through in the 90s. And yet Bruce Coslett has really turned them around, drafted wisely, kept a lot of young players, picked the guys he wanted, and it's his team now, and it's starting to show through.
Let's see if they squib kick now. Delphrey does hit a line drive downfield, waiting for it. Spencer George picks it up. A lot of white shirts coming after him, and they nail him back at the 24-yard line, and that will do it for a wild first half of play in Nashville, Tennessee. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Tennessee Titans 26, the Bengals 21. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, join Jim Nance, Randy Cross, Craig James, and Jerry Glanville for all the scores and highlights from around the league on this opening day. All coming up after this word from your local station.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ Halftime Report is sponsored by the NASDAQ Stock Market.
Well, the NFL's 80th season is underway. We have upsets everywhere. We have a huge injury to report. We welcome you to the NASDAQ Halftime Report. And at halftime, the Bengals with that late rally. This is the highest scoring game on opening day. Titans lead it, but Cincinnati right back into it. Craig James, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville alongside. How about that little late surge by the Bengals?
Well, you get a Kajana Carter touchdown. You got a Jeff Blake touchdown pass. Gets him 21 points. But I tell you, Steve McNair looks like the quarterback everybody begs him to be down in Tennessee. He looked very, very sharp in that first half. Where was the defense at the end of that first half?
Exactly.
Jeff Fisher's not going to be happy in that locker room.
All right, New York Jets are looking for a new quarterback. This is the big story of the day right now. And the Patriots have taken the lead just seconds ago. But the story again here, Craig James regards Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde is going to hand off to Curtis Martin. When he hands off, Curtis fumbles the football. Vinny planted to go back to try to recover it. And as soon as he planted, you could just feel, boom, the Achilles ruptured on him. And we know how tough that Vinny is. And when sitting here, we said this guy's got to be out for the season. So that means that the guys on the team have to step up. Keyshawn Johnson's their big playmaker on offense. Tom Tupa, the number 2 guy, the punter, first pass play of the day for him, touchdown 25 yards. And, here's the problem with it. Moments ago, Tupa back to throw. Field awareness. Backside gets hit, fumbles the football. The Patriots all over him. Tupa will see pressure for the rest of the season, and not having that field awareness is really going to hurt him.
And McGinnis recovers for the touchdown. The Patriots lead. And again, let me confirm it. Testaverde, the Jets have told us now, is out for the year.
Let's see about that pickup of Rick Meyer now. Bill Parcells got Rick Meyer. How critical is that pickup 2 weeks ago?
Elsewhere in the NFL today, the Bills and the Colts, they've started the second half. Colts young players again starring. That's Manning, Edger, and James. The Magic hasn't appeared so far, the Doug Flutie Magic, that is.
Well, neither in the air or on the ground. But I tell you, this guy right here, Peyton Manning, is throwing some serious play-action passes against Buffalo's aggressive defense. Here to E.G. Green, gets the ball down to the 1-yard line. Who follows that up? Well, if you pass up Ricky Williams, get this guy, you give him the ball too. Edgar and James gets his first touchdown as a pro.
And they lead it now by 8 starting the second half. Raiders and the Packers. Raiders have missed 2 field goals. Gannon's been picked a couple of times, but so has Favre. And the Packers are down. Ray Rhodes' debut rather flat at Lambeau Field. One bright moment. It happened early. Favre to Schrader. A man that, Jerry, you've been touting all week long. He's going to be a surprise player in the league this year.
Well, I think he got in Hogan's doghouse, but now he's going to be a good football player. But The Raiders took advantage of the over-aggressive Packer defense. This was a counter toss. Fullback one way and Napoleon Kaufman the other. Big yardage. They're running the ball real well against Green Bay.
And the touchdown for the Raiders, Randy Jordan from a yard out. Kansas City and the Bears. Shane Matthews, first career start in his 6th year in the league. He's thrown 2 touchdown passes. Ravens and the Rams new quarterback, Kurt Warner, with Trent Green out for the season. Look, he's thrown 2 touchdowns. Redskins are down, but their new quarterback, Brad Johnson's over 200 yards in the first half passing. Arizona and the Eagles new quarterback, Doug Peterson. His first start, 2 touchdown passes, while Plummer has been picked twice. Carolina and the Saints, Ricky Williams injured in that game. They're x-raying his ankle right now in the locker room in New Orleans.
He had 10 carries for 40 yards, but how would you like all your draft picks on a golf cart going down the tunnel? And that's really what's happened to the Saints.
All right, coming up next on CBS Sports, the All-American United States Open men's final between Andre Agassi and Todd Martin. And for a report from Flushing Meadows, here are Bill McAtee and Patrick McEnroe.
The grounds of the USTA National Tennis Center, always one of the toughest tickets in New York on one of the biggest days in tennis, the men's final of the U.S. Open. And that's what's coming up later. Andre Agassi against Todd Martin. They're both 29 years old, but that's where the similarities end. 9 finals for Andre Agassi, 4 titles. Todd Martin has been in only 1 final prior to today. Andre Agassi, obviously an overwhelming favorite. Does Todd Martin, Patrick, have any chance?
Well, the difference is also, Bill, in personality, but Todd Martin does have a chance in this one. He's beaten Agassi 5 times before, including once at Wimbledon, and this is a brand new Todd Martin. He's had multiple injuries in his career, but yesterday in the semifinals against Cedric Pioline, a guy who's been in 2 Grand Slam finals, Martin was devastating. He can put together a big serve game and those big returns. He will give Agassi some trouble.
And Cedric Pioline said after the match, I've never played this Todd Martin before. So the men's final of the U.S. Open coming up, Agassi against Martin. That's after football.
In our pursuit to do all of our homework, I took Randy and Jerry out to the Martin match on Thursday night. You missed it.
Now, I was doing my real homework. I'm going to go ahead and take Todd Martin in this match this afternoon and let you guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you one. I'm going to let you have it.
Give us one.
I'm going to take it. I'm taking Agassi. I'll take that one.
How many majors has Todd Martin won? Let's just go on here.
We'll continue with the NFL on CBS in just a moment. Good point.
CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ Halftime Report is sponsored by the NASDAQ Stock Market. CBS Sports presentation of the NASDAQ Halftime Report is sponsored by the NASDAQ Stock Market.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League will continue after this word from your local station. At the half, it is the Tennessee Titans 26, the Cincinnati Bengals 21. Don Criqui with Steve Tasker, shootout Music City, and you have to wonder, Steve, what's going on in that Titan locker room. Looked like they had these guys down for the count.
Well, this is a mark of an 8-8 team. In the last few years, they've been 500 ball club, and this is one of the signs. They have not been able to put people away. They stood on the verge of putting Cincinnati away early, and now they only lead by 5.
You have to admire the way the Bengals came back. They were gone, it seemed, early, and then they kept rallying back as Jeff Blake really stepped up his play. And halftime stats, a lot of numbers up there. As you see, a lot of points, 47 first-half points. First downs, we've only had 30 so far in this game. And the passing yardage is huge, almost 500 yards total offense between the two teams. More to come.
One of the things that you don't see in those statistics is the fact that the Bengals have taken advantage of every opportunity and every mistake that the Titans have made. And both teams have made their share of mistakes, but the Titans have made them at crucial times that seem to really let the Bengals off the hook. In the Bengals' favor, they have done everything that it's taken to stay in this football game and made some great plays. They've got Carl Pickens involved, so now he is a concern for the second half for the Titans, and things are looking very good for the Bengals at this point.
Greg East is back to return the kickoff.
Big one.
4th round draft choice out of Kentucky, number 84. He's not big, but he can go at 5'7", 160, and here he goes. He went for the ball. He's kept it and tried to keep going. And the penalty marker is fired in after the tackle. Side judge fired it in from 20 yards away. We'll find out what he
And
saw.
that guy got armed.
Joey Kent was down to make the tackle on special teams.
Yep, Titans.
And that is the call.
You see the face mask signal. That does not have to be on the tackle.
Make face mask defense. Number 59, 15 yards. Yeah.
Now the penalty could be called away from the football. It doesn't have to be on the tackle. There's no face mask there on that tackle. And in fact, number 59 is back off your screen, and that's who the penalty was called. And there it is right there. And that was after the play was blown dead.
I'm going to talk more about special teams tackling. That was your business, Steve Tasker, for 13 seasons in the NFL. Handoff, running with the ball. And getting it ahead is Kajana Carter. He is out close to the 38-yard line, stopped by Eddie Robinson. What's the key to making tackles on special teams? You went to the Pro Bowl.
It's nothing but desire, and you have to be willing to take a hit to make a tackle, because you can't run down the field in traffic at full speed on special teams and not expect to take a big hit when you get there.
They will hit you in the mouth when you're coming down.
Yeah, that's what they're paid to do too.
You saw the quarterback comparison. Here's a rollout by Blake. Dumps it up too high, and then it almost was a tip ball to Darnay Scott. But Blake, one thing he does really well is play fake. He's a magician with the ball.
We saw it earlier in the game on a 2-point conversion. I thought they missed the conversion because they tackled the ball carrier, when in actuality, Jeff Blake still had the ball and threw the pass. Play action fake is so effective in the National Football League because of the fact that the run game is so important.
Always so important in the run game. Always.
The Bengals down 26-7. Rally back with 14 unanswered points in the second quarter. They're down by 5 now in the third quarter. Blake against the blitz. Gets out of it. He's got a first down and slides to a safe, sure halt. He does it 20 yards downfield.
That is such a disheartening thing for a defense, and that's one of the reasons it's difficult to play man coverage against a running quarterback. If you have man coverage, all the defensive backs are looking at their guys they're supposed to cover. They don't know that the quarterback is running the football, and you'll see here as Blake drops back, doesn't see it, gets pressure, pulls the string, and as he runs down the field, the defensive backs have to stop what they're doing and touch him for the tackle.
With a run, Kajana Carter diving over the top, does well just to get to the line of scrimmage as Blaine Bishop, 3 times a Pro Bowl safety, comes up to make the stop for the Titans.
You know, really, this is probably as extensive an action as Kajana Carter has had in his entire career. He's been injured so much, missed so many seasons with injuries. He really has never had a chance to show why he was the #1 pick in the draft when he came out.
Yes, one injury after another, getting some playing time now as they alternate the backs. We talked about Corey Dillon getting the IV, transfusing him with glucose, losing fluids in this hot first half. Here is a throw on the flat. Willie Jackson is out of bounds across the 40-yard line. And all of a sudden, this Tennessee defense is on its heels against a Bengal offense that's so smooth, so in rhythm.
Well, one of the things that happens when they come out after halftime, there is a few things. They'll go in and put their heads together and say, you know what? We need to run more of this play, more of this formation, or we need to try this play out of a different formation. And they come out making some adjustments on the offensive side of the ball. And that first series is when they really make hay and try and get something done.
3rd down and short now. See what they can get done here. They have Kajana as the lone setback. And markers are thrown from the snap of the ball.
Before the snap, ball start on the offense, number 72, 5 yards, remains 3rd down.
Matt Dwyer, the left guard, moved early.
Jeff Fisher, who we've spoken to on a number of occasions, and he's one of the guys you kind of have to root for. He's a good young coach. He's energetic. You always feel like he's got a plan. He knows how to combat anything that faces him on the football field. The question is, can he put a team together that can close the door on somebody?
That was always his weakness there.
Well, his play call gets tough now. Jeff Blake. 3rd down, standing in. Steps up. He's on the run. He's going to get it. Jeff Blake is not done till he's inside the 30. He needed 7, and he got 14. Boy, he's really turned it around.
One of the things that helped Jeff Blake, even though this looks like a broken play where he looks back, can't find anybody open, one of the reasons is they have such good wide receivers for the Cincinnati Bengals. You have to double team them. You have to cover them. You can't think about Jeff Blake running. The first concern is giving up the huge play for the touchdown to one of those great wideouts that the Bengals have.
Last year he played in only 8 games and started in only 2, Jeff Blake. Originally a draft choice of the Jets. There's good magic to get away. He's got an open track down the sideline, and just before he baits those defenders, looking to get hit when he's out of bounds and get the 15 yards.
Well, he had his line in the water. He was fishing for it a little bit. Dane and Sidney did let up, although Jeff Blake, there's no question, he was fishing for a penalty right at the end. He glided down the last 7 yards of his run so that everybody knew he was going to go out of bounds, and then tried to step out of bounds just before he took contact. Watch here, he's gliding. Nice little day in the park. Step out of bounds, and then, oh my gosh, it hurt. Referees had no part of it, though, and that's a good no call.
Blake, thinking man's quarterback, grew up and father, one of the same. Emery Blake was his high school coach, former CFL player. Throw over the middle is incomplete on first down. Looking at Darnay Scott. Blaine Bishop was covering on the play. Blake was a 6th-round draft choice of the Jets. Got virtually no look when Bruce Coslett left the Jets. Later came over to Cincinnati. He said, let's take a look at this guy. They got him for nothing on waivers. And he turned into a tremendous player his first couple of years as a Cincinnati Bengal. Tailed off a little bit. But he's a guy that can still get it done. His best seasons were 95 and 96 when he passed for 3,800 yards, 28 touchdowns in 95, 3,600 yards, and 24 touchdowns in 96. Here's a throw. A desperation toss of sorts on 2nd down and 10. Titanic Carter's what he's looking at. But the rush out with the middle backer, Baron Wortham.
I had the opportunity, the good fortune, I guess, to play with Jeff in a Pro Bowl in Hawaii. And that was his first real taste of success in the National Football League. He came out, and for the first few days, he was kind of feeling his way, looking around. And then as the week wore on, you could tell he realized, you know what, I've got the ability to be out here. And you could see him blossom throughout the week. And now finally getting back in the saddle after being benched a year ago.
Yeah, he was actually a Pro Bowl starter after the 95 season. 3rd down and 10. Here comes an all-out blitz. Near side throw. Ball has gotten to Willie Jackson. He breaks it. He's going in. Willie Jackson is over the end zone line. And so Jeff Blake, with his greatest play of this day, they shot 9 guys at him. Virtually the whole Tennessee defense came at him. And all of a sudden, an 18-yard touchdown pass results. And the Bengals have taken the lead.
Well, you start to wonder how much the Titans are going to give them. They've run this play a half a dozen times already today, and it was just a question of time before one of the receivers broke a tackle and made the big play, and it's happened here early in the 3rd quarter.
Can you top this? How high can the numbers go?
Well, Bruce Coslett is one of those guys to say, you know what, if they're going to give me that little throw out there, I'm going to give it to those guys because I know my wide receivers are so good. They're going to make something happen. It's just like getting the ball into the best guy's hands, and that's the best way to do it.
Bruce Coslett, his team rebounding, and maybe it's going to end up as one of the all-time comebacks in Bengal franchise history, down 26-7. They have now rallied back, scoring 20 unanswered points, and they're going for 2 more on a 2-point conversion try after they've taken the lead. 27-26. Handoff, play fake, open guy, the fullback. Wow. Brian Mill makes the catch. It's a 2-point conversion, and the lead is built to 29-26. And what play calling by Ken Anderson and execution by his offense.
Once again, we see the great play fake by Jeff Blake. The statistics in the NFL say 50% of those 2-point conversions are going to be good. And 50% of them are going to be bad. And they were on the bubble. They were 1 for 2. And this one, a great play fake. And they go up by 3.
We're back, deep and warm on a warm day. Jeff Fisher told us yesterday we wanted to get off to a fast start in our opener and not have to dig out of a hole as was the case last season so often. Well, they got off to a fast start, but it's the Bengals who've come roaring back. They have indeed put the roar back in the of the AFC Central. As we watch the replay of that last touchdown, what a sensational play.
Well, what you can't see is that the Titans send everybody at Jeff Blake, and the object is just get it a one-on-one. If you feel you have a superior matchup, get him the ball and let him make something happen. And you see there, when he kicks that pylon over at the corner of the end zone, it counts.
Really?
The pylon is part of the goal line, and he's not out of bounds. That counts right there. As soon as he kicks that over, he's in, and he breaks the plane.
Willie Jackson's inspiration is his dad, also named Willie Jackson, who was the first African-American player ever to play football for the University of Florida. Really proud of him there as a standout. Handoff, running with the ball. Eddie George, he takes it to the 25-yard line.
Now.
Not a whole lot happening for Eddie, though. They're kind of ganging up on him, as is usually the case. Oliver Gibson, the nose tackle, makes the stop. As they're going through a defensive rotation in Cincinnati's lineup. Ryan Simmons kind of limping off. Not an injury. Looks more like a cramp.
And one of the things that's in vogue in the National Football League is to keep the defensive line fresh, because the offense doesn't have the luxury of rotating their offensive linemen. Those guys play the whole game. And if they're always going against fresh guys, that's a problem in the second half.
You need so much synchronization there. You can't alternate. They have to stay together. Here's another handoff. George protects the ball. He busts it across the 30 and out to the 33-yard line. A gain of 8 yards on the play. The heat-seeking missile, Takeo Spikes, in his second year from Auburn, made the stop.
Eddie, one of the things that's changed for the Titans this year is the fact that Eddie George now, as part of their offense, they have a fullback. Lorenzo Neal was signed by the Titans and has become a bigger part of their package, and that's going to help the running game in certain situations. And also, Steve McNair says perhaps even the passing game for play action.
See what we go to now. Looks like a passing setup on 3rd and 3. McNair throws the ball. Broken up. Defender coming in beautifully, right on time. Roosevelt Blackman, second-year corner from Morris Brown. They've had to go to backup corners because of the injury to Chaz Fisher.
One of the things you can tell now, this stadium is quiet. The Titans are very flat. They know that they had this team on the ropes, and now they're trailing by 3. And they just don't know what to do. They cannot get it on track emotionally. And what started out as a skyrocketing day emotionally for this team, right now they're flat.
Oh, they are. Greg Williams, the D coordinator for Tennessee, told us yesterday we want to take their confidence away early. But on the other way, they got way up on the Bengals early, but they didn't take their confidence. Here's Craig Yee signaling for and making a fair catch. Beautifully punted ball by Craig Hendrick, who last year had the best punting average of any player in the NFL since Yale Larry in 1963.
Wow. Hendrick was a good punter in the first day.
We're back at Adelphia Coliseum, Nashville, Tennessee. The Bengals with an unbelievable comeback to take the lead in this game. Go to the run. Corey Dillon, who was sidelined. Intervenous fluids given him because of cramping. And here's Bruce Coslett. What a beautiful job of preparation Coslett and his staff have done. These guys came in ready to play this game, Steve, even when they were down 26-7.
You really do have to tip your hat, because they came into a new nickname, a new beginning for this Titan franchise, and the Bengals have come in and really taken the air out of the balloon.
This would be an enormous win also for Bruce Coslett. Under fire, but I think he's held in very, very high regard.
False start on the offense, number 73, 5 yards.
By Mike Brown, who the owner and chairman of the Bengals, he's been a player with them. They know what he can do, and he had players. These guys came within one touchdown drive when Sam Leitch was the head coach in winning a Super Bowl in '89 against the San Francisco 49ers.
I happen to be on the Buffalo Bill team they beat to go to that Super Bowl, and they really were a good football team. He's a real offensive mind. He's very well respected all over the league.
Kyle Pickens is in the game. Lower left portion of your screen. He's split right. Signed a new 5-year contract. Markers all over as everybody left early. scores the Colts with a surprising 21-6 lead over the Bills in the third quarter.
False start on the offense. Number 8, the quarterback. 5 yards. Second down.
New England putting it to the Jets after the loss of Testaverde, 27-16. And what can Jeff Fisher be thinking? He needs a big play like that for more than just penalties. Opened up on the Packers at Green Bay. What an opening day.
A lot of key injuries around the NFL, including here in Nashville.
Jeff Blake throws it over the middle. And the ball is completed to Corey Dillon, who's ahead to the 20-yard line. Gain of 7 yards on the play. Eddie Robinson was the tackler, the man they call the coach on the field.
You know, as we talk about scores around the NFL, Don, one of the things that never ceases to amaze me, you never know until the season starts what's going to happen. Some teams that look to be in a tailspin all of a sudden look great on that opening day, and teams that you look to dominate struggle early. It happens every year all over the National Football League.
Sure does. Bengals return to Cincinnati for their home opener next Sunday against the San Diego Chargers. Another injury report. Another Tennessee player now is hurting. Told that Joe Salavea, defensive tackle, strained calves. Jeff Blake, slow start. Coming up fast, though. 16 of 26, throwing the ball 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Earlier, he was intercepted twice. Last time they blitzed him all out, he's hit for a touchdown. There it goes, the long ball. He's got a guy.
Oof.
On time, what an unbelievable play to Darnay Scott. 80-yard touchdown bomb, but there is a penalty marker down in the Bengals backfield.
Let's have the Bengals.
It's coming
Holding
back
against Cincinnati. It's coming back.
That gives you an idea of why Jeff Blake will go to the Pro Bowl as a deep ball. He looked. Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator of the Titans, told us yesterday, Jeff Blake looks deep to the outside first when he drops back to pass. And when he completes a pass like that, there is not a more beautiful play in the National Football League to watch.
Holding on the offense, number 60. 10 yards, half a distance to the goal. Third down.
Rod Jones, the left tackle, is called for holding, and so home run ball is taken away. And
that's not a 10-yard penalty. That's a 90-yard touchdown penalty. You see Jeff Blake, watch how he throws. This ball looks like it goes straight up out of his hand, and he has to wait and watch and watch. Takes forever, and look how open Darnay Scott.
Boy, that's unbelievable.
That ball dropped straight out of the sky, and that is an absolutely beautiful thing to watch.
The Titans were working on that all week. Jerry Gray, their secondary coach, was throwing the long ball high into the sky to get him living dangerously. And he is stopped on third down. A good play by Javon Curse, a player who they say wants to be great. And Blake is shaken up.
It was great.
Second time today. He's been banged up and limping off.
Jeff Blake is a tough guy. And you spoke about Akili Smith being tough, but you don't want to be known. You don't want to be known as a tough quarterback because you have to prove it every week by getting up. And watch here, you'll see right here. This is the hold on the long pass play. And he pulls the defensive lineman back over the pile, and that's what happens late. And it's too bad because an offensive lineman never knows how close he is to the quarterback because his back's to him. If he would have let the defensive lineman go, that pass still would have gotten away. But there's just no way of knowing that.
Mike Jones being attended to. It could be another cramping problem.
Gosh.
This is getting now, Steve, to be a war of attrition. Guys going this hard in this heat, upper 80s, high humidity.
One thing that happens as a player, your adrenaline kind of takes over, especially on opening day. You've been waiting for this opportunity to play. You're playing for keeps after playing in the preseason. Everything counts, and your adrenaline takes over, and you just go all out. Later on in the season, these guys will learn how to pace themselves.
Don Cricket with Steve Tasker back at Nashville, Tennessee, where there's been a dramatic turnaround in this game. Yesterday, Steve McNair told us the goal of the offense of the Titans was to score 24 points. They scored 26 early in the second quarter. They had that many, but they trail in the game. Now the Bengals have to punt. Remember, Bryce was blocked earlier. This time he booms the punt. Man alive. Going back forward is Spencer George, and he finds a channel. And then he's hit hard from behind and knocked down to the 32-yard line. 72-yard punt. Corey Hall, number 26, made the hit on 26 of the Titans. What an opening day. Adelphia Coliseum, Nashville, Tennessee. Music City welcoming NFL football in the regular season for the first time in one of the great stadiums in football. 67,000 strong are here. Many of the biggest country acts in music have luxury boxes here. Reba McEntire and on and on.
What?
And they had something to cheer about today as the Tennessee Titans had an early lead, and then they saw it all come a cropper as the Bengals have roared back to take the lead 29-26.
Oh.
Throw and the catch.
Good catch, Dyson. Wow.
Kevin Dyson, who was quiet for a while, now comes alive again after a very fast start. He's had 2 touchdown catches today. Football season here in a big way, and get a complete and in-depth look inside the NFL with team-by-team breakdowns and week recaps. When you've got to know more on the NFL, log on to cbs.sportsline.com. The Titans, who had a 19-point lead in the second quarter, and this place was rocking, now down by 3 with 5:14 to play in the third quarter. Let's pick it up. McNair stands in, throws hard, picked off. Ball's free again. That's a live ball. Now they're going to rule he's down by counts. Man alive. Wow. This is like bazookas hitting each other out here. Rodney Heath has played some great football coming in for the injured Charles Fisher. He made the pick. Watch this. This is a
deep throw by Steve McNair, clear to the sidelines, going to his guy, Kevin Dyson, who has caught a lot of footballs today.
Look at this pick, though.
Rodney Heath cuts in front of that great play. Bang! And now Rodney Heath
that's a hard hit.
Got nicked up on that. Watch that as the
what a great call again. These guys.
That hurts so bad because Rodney Heath's thinking about, I got to get up and run with this football. And just about the time he opens up to get up, he is just crushed by the pursuit.
How's a little love in tap like that affect you? How long does it take to get over that?
Well, if you make the play, it's not too long.
You make the play. Here is Blake. Big guys coming after him with mayhem on their minds, but he gets out of bounds. He loves to bait the big lineman. He just jogs away from him. Javon Kearse was putting a rush on. He flushed him to the near side.
One of the things we've seen today is that a lot of guys have walked off the field with cramps, and a lot of times it's the big guys that have been dropping out. They've had the big defensive and offensive linemen that have been struggling to keep from cramping. And when you start chasing Jeff Blake around like that, that just accentuates the problem because they're not used to running more than a couple of yards of play. When they start running sideline to sideline, it causes problems.
Blake's been running sideline to sideline. He's been running north and south also. He has 10 carries for 77 yards. Handoff.
And
boom goes Corey Dillon, the 225-pound back. Coming Monday, September 20th, a stretch of open road, a brand new Harley, and a man who has no idea how to ride it. Get your motor running. Watch the King of Queens Wild Season premiere a week from Monday on September 20th here on CBS, America's most watched television network. Head out on the highway. The Bengals operating methodically, coolly. The system in place and being executed beautifully on offense. 3rd and short. Pitch back, near side run. Dillon puts his head down. Big hit by the Titans. Joe Bowden, who was shaken up earlier, put a head-on slug on him, 58. And it looks like it's going to be 4th and short, and Coslett will not risk it. He'll punt with a foot to go.
If you're the Tennessee Titans right now, if you don't make this play, you really begin to doubt yourself in the way you've played all day. That is a huge short yardage play to get the football back to your offense. really the offense for the Titans has not been stopped. They've kind of stopped themselves with the interceptions and the fumbles that have hurt them.
All right, now it's time for the
Now they have
offense.
Yancey Thigpen back because of his sure hands. They're not looking so much for a punt return. They just want to be sure the ball is caught and the Titans get possession. You hate to risk a top wide receiver on kick return, but they need the good hands people back there. Now Tyson, Thigpen will let it go. It goes all the way into the end zone, and a penalty marker's down at the line of scrimmage.
Bengals.
But we're going to still have a return as Samari Roll runs it back for the Tennessee Titans. Penalty marker was down in the backfield of the Bengals with 2:41 left to go in the third quarter.
Now they're going to have to take this ball where the guy was pushed out of bounds at the 15.
Holding by the kicking team, number 98.
There we go.
Now, the official's going to have to sort this out because what happened was Samari Roll picked that ball up as it bounced in the end zone. That's perfectly legal.
That penalty is declined. The running back is the first down.
But because of that, now they don't get the ball on the 20. They get it at the 15.
Yeah, 15. Looked like this game was over in the second quarter. Completely turned around. The Michigan Wolverines take on the Syracuse Orangemen next Saturday on CBS Sports. First down, Tennessee. Long count, McNair. Near side throw.
Yeah.
Penalty marker. Yancey Thigpen was defended, and the cornerback never had his head turned to the ball. Artrell Hawkins tried to screen him away. A good call and a big first down on penalty yardage.
What happens is when Yancey Thigpen gets up the field, Artrell Hawkins, you see there his hands on it. He pushes Yancey Thigpen out of bounds and doesn't play the ball at all. Just keeps Yancey Thigpen from getting there, and that is the difference in the penalty.
With 5:16 left in the second quarter today, the Tennessee Titans had a 26-7 lead. The Bengals scored touchdowns twice inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. They scored again in the third quarter, and somehow they've come back to lead the game 29-26. McNair rolling out, takes a look, makes the throw.
There you go.
It's ahead for a first down to Yancey Thigpen. It was such a tremendous player 2 years ago for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Came as an unrestricted free agent to Tennessee and had a lot of injury problems last year. 13-yard gain.
Steve McNair just seems, when you watch him play a lot, he seems so much more comfortable when he can get outside the pocket and find his receiver crossing the field. Rarely do you see him misstep on that throw. He's much more accurate when he's rolling out than he is dropping back in the pocket.
97. Then had 79 catches for the Steelers. Last year as a Titan, as an Oiler, he had 38 catches. Eddie George runs on first down, and he's down to the 46-yard line. Emotionally, Steve, the sideline of the Titans, it's a very different atmosphere down there. They were really rolling. They looked to blow this team out early, and they were doing it. Now it's turned around. What do you think the psychology of this team is at this point?
Well, now they're just trying to gather some of their, just gather their thoughts and make sure they don't blow this football game. They still feel they're going to win this game, but they know that they're going to have to play a little bit differently than they have in the second half.
1:24 to go. Third quarter. McNair, quick out. Living dangerously, you'll recall the pick not that long ago when he threw the sideline pattern. He was shooting at Kevin Dyson.
Shooting themselves in the foot.
They need leadership from McNair. There's no question in the organization. They talk about this is his 5th year. By now, you've got to start doing it. By doing it, you mean playoffs.
Well, he called a special meeting of the offense yesterday for the express purpose of talking about every single pass play they had in their arsenal for today. And he did it. It's the first time he'd ever done it, and I think the players set up and took notice of that. And that's part of his new attitude, that he wants to be a guy that they can depend on.
McNair stands in, makes the throw. It comes in high. Chris Sanders was the intended receiver. There's a penalty marker down in the backfield of the Titans, holding call against Tennessee. The players love McNair, though. He's a top-flight guy. When he signed the huge contract.
On the offense, number 72. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Signed a huge contract out of Elkhorn State. The first thing he wanted to do, Steve McNair, was buy his mom a house. He picked out the land in Mississippi where they're from. He drove her out there to show where the house was going to be built. She started to cry. And McNair said, "What was wrong?" And he said, "Steve, this is where I picked cotton as a little girl." That's where they built the beautiful new home for his mom. Steve didn't know it when he bought the land. Now dropping back to punt. Craig Hentrick hits it high. The September air here in Nashville, and a play on the ball fails. Anthony Dorsett tried to down the ball inside the 5. It caroms into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20.
Anthony Dorsett would have been just as well off just catching that ball in the air. It's perfectly legal since the return man was not making any attempt to catch it. You don't want that ball to hit the ground on special teams if you can help it, because they put points on the end for a reason. It does not bounce the way you think it's going to. You've got to catch that ball. And rule number 1 in the punt game is always make sure the punt is fielded.
Thursday, September 23rd on CBS, the creator of Ally McBeal and the practice is checking into Chicago Hope. There'll be a new attitude, new faces, and a whole new hope. Don't miss the season premiere Thursday, September 23rd on CBS, America's most watched network. Now the Bengals with a 3-point lead, looking to run the ball on the clock on this hot, humid day in Tennessee. Game clock under a minute to go in the third quarter. Robinson on the tackle of Corey Dillon.
One of the things we talked about earlier was both these teams were making hay in the passing game. They were really throwing the ball all over the football field. Now comes the part of the game where they have got to have a run game to control the clock, control the football, and not give the other guy a chance to score.
That's what they're trying to do as they power the ball. Straight ahead power game. Another handoff. Play in the backfield. Corey Dillon is taken down. Coming in to get him was Javon Curse, number 90, who could be a great one.
The coaches for the Titans talk about this guy, and they say there is absolutely no limit.
The reason they call him the freak, he has 4% body fat, runs a 4.43 40. That's the end of the third quarter with the score 29-26. Cincinnati will return to Nashville right after this message and a word from your local station. We're ready to start the fourth quarter. The Bengals come in with a 3rd down and 8 play to open the final 15 minutes. Up by 3. Might not be the final 15. Might go to OT this one. Here is a throw over the middle. And the connection is made at the 30-yard line. We'll see where the linesman come in. The head linesman coming in. Does he have it, Steve?
I think he does. One thing, when they put those chains, they have markers on the sidelines that they put a little bit further than the chains would indicate, so that when a guy's running, he doesn't run over the marker and then not get the first down. So they did give him the first down on that play.
Wild games on opening day. Some upsets in the offing. The Philadelphia Eagles, a dismal preseason, but they're beating the Cardinals on opening day. Washington crowning the Cowboys, 35-14 in the fourth quarter. New England in a close game, leading the Jets. Here's a handoff. Corey Dillon straight ahead. Not much going on. And the defense is getting pushed off the ball now as Eddie Robinson finally filled and made the stop, but he did it 7 yards downfield.
The heat is really starting to show on the run defense of the Titans. The defensive line is really having a hard time holding their ground against the push up front of the Bengals.
Look at the running back comparison. We talked about them, Steve, at the outset of the day.
Both these teams focus so much on the defense of the run game that they're very comparable at this point.
Another run, draw play, first down run. That's Corey Dillon. Powering his way ahead. He needed 3, and he ends up getting 17. First down, Bengals. They drive on. A world of time left, though, in this game, and they lead by 3.
It's a world of time, but if the Bengals continue this long, methodical drive and continue to do it on the ground, it really, really sucks the wind out of the Titans. There's nothing more demoralizing than having a team run the football on you because you really feel like you're defenseless.
And these offensive linemen, they'd much rather run block than pass block. They deliver the blow in the run block. Throw. Tip ball.
Beautifully defended on the corner by Dane and Sidney. Last year, the Cincinnati Bengals defense was the worst in the National Football League at stopping the run. Today, they've allowed only 39 yards rushing to Tennessee. Last year, Hasl's team allowed over 160 yards a game rushing to the opposition. So they really tightened that up.
They gave up over 2,600 yards last year on the ground through the course of the whole season, and it has been a real concern for them and a real point of contention that they're going to get better at that no matter what.
Bengals getting better at the offensive side, running the ball also. Long ball, timing pattern. They tried to catch him, but there was a good defensive play by Dane and Sidney right there as Willie Jackson tried to get the high ball lobbed into him. Bengals on defense, well, they were about at the bottom of virtually every category that's compiled. There they are. Last, 28th,
That's 28 out of 30, too. So it wasn't like they were any much better on total yards per game. But, I mean, when you look at those statistics, as a coaching staff, you know, well, where do we start? And it all starts with that guy right there and the decisions he makes about personnel.
And Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator, crowd really kicks in now. 3rd and 10. Blake stands in. He's in trouble. Shuffles the ball to Corey Dillon. Making some people miss, but not for long. Donald Mitchell makes the open field tackle, and another penalty marker comes in late. It came in after the tackle.
Can you tell who that was on?
It could be a devastating personal foul against Tennessee. The signal's against Tennessee.
Tripping against Tennessee, and that is one more illustration of what happens to Tennessee in a lot of ball games. They've shot themselves in the foot a number of times today, not only with turnovers, but with penalties.
Tripping on the defense, number 30. 10 yards, automatic. First down.
That was a huge penalty because they stopped them cold on 3rd down.
Jeff Fisher, you can understand why he's upset. How do you call a tripping penalty on the guy that made the tackle?
Okay, let's watch. We got a good second look.
See, Jeff Blake avoids the sack here alertly, just flips the ball to Corey Dillon just to make a positive out of a negative. And watch here. That's a horrible call.
Got that foot extended. That's what the official must have seen. Boy, they don't like it here in Nashville. And with reason, here's Blake on the run. Wide open field. He holds the ball like a loaf of bread, though. He never tucks it away. But he does get ahead for a gain of 14 yards and a first down. This is one of the all-time Cincinnati Bengal comebacks. All-time.
That was such a crucial penalty that they just awarded the Bengals, allowing Jeff Blake to bust that last big play.
Blake is down. Blake is down.
Watch as Donald Mitchell comes in, goes low to take his legs out, hold up for the
That was a bad
pursuit.
call.
And that, I cannot see how you call that a trip. There's just no way. And that, in the way it is in the National Football League, allows the Cincinnati Bengals not only to stay alive, but go down for a big play to get into scoring position.
Blake might have a cramp. It looks like they're extending his leg out after the end of the run. Yeah, he definitely has a cramp. He's the leading rusher in the game, 11 carries for 90 yards. Bill George, our CBS statistician, totaling the numbers. So Jeff Blake, with his feet, has been a tremendous driving force.
Philadelphia Coliseum, or working as the lead contractor on the state-of-the-art Baptist Sports Park. Powell Building Group works for the Titans.
See there, you see how his foot, he grabs right for the calf. When you cramp up, he probably felt that cramp a couple of steps before he went down, and it just hurried up his decision. And you see there as he turns over, he'll go right for his calf. And, cramps are difficult because there's no way you can really make them go away right away. They'll bother you for the entire afternoon.
Kelly Smith was in for one play earlier, remember, when Jeff Blake got dinged on a run. He came in, handed off nicely, and Blake came right back in. But on the next play, Blake threw an interception. He was not fully over the shot he took, and he looks to be in some difficulty now as he's on the ground.
We've talked about how the offenses of both of these teams have gone after the young cornerback, the injured guys who have left, and now they've got backups playing at the corners, and the quarterbacks have tried to take advantage of this. Well, you can bet that the Titan defense, if Akili Smith goes in, they're going to throw some exotic stuff at him and try and confuse him and get to him right away. They're going to throw things at him he has never seen before.
Okay, he's been a warrior today, Jeff Blake. He's hobbling off, so Akili Smith comes in on what could be a critical drive. A lot of time left, as you see, 12:15 left to go in the game. Cincinnati with roaring back, 22 unanswered points to take the lead, 29-26.
Now he'll have a list of about 5 or 10 plays that he feels comfortable with, but as we said earlier, Bruce Kozla said, right now, Akili Smith in practice is just worried about getting these guys in the huddle and getting them out. Forget about reading defenses and executing a play. Even the most basic things are brand new at this point for Akili Smith.
Something else, Steve, we should be keeping in mind with Akili Smith. He can run. 32 touchdowns last season at Oregon in 12 games. Handoff. Corey Dillon running wide. He turns the corner on the far side inside the 20. He'll be out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Pretty soon, though, Akili Smith, whether he knows the offense or not, and he's the first to tell you he doesn't after missing 27 practices, he's going to have to throw the ball.
And you can tell, I mean, it's not that hard. Now the Titans are going to stop Corey Dillon. If they're going to get back in this game, they know they're going to have to make Akili Smith put the ball in the air and try and beat him.
This guy has a big-time fastball, too, Akili Smith. Losing the snap. That is an occupational hazard for any quarterback coming into the game.
You don't have to be Akili Smith, a new rookie, to make that mistake. You see it so often when a backup quarterback comes in, but let's face it, that's not going to do a whole lot for his confidence at this point. This is a crucial time of the game for him to be coming in, taking his first couple of snaps, first extended time of his career.
Now third down arises. Smith and the Bengals need 8 yards. Titans could be coming on a blitz. They go to the run to Corey Smith, to Corey Dillon, and Dillon fighting ahead, gets down to the 15-yard line. Did not want to risk the turnover. They'd rather send Doug Pelfrey out to kick a field goal. Pelfrey did not have a good year last season. He was 19 of 27, but he's had a terrific career as a Bengal. 79% field goals career. This is his 7th year from Kentucky.
Well, it's hard to imagine a bigger kick at this early point of the season than one right here, because this really is going to put the onus on the offense. For the Titans, they are going to have to score a touchdown.
Pelfrey was perfect this year in the preseason, 3 for 3. 33-yarders on the way. He powers it up and through. And the Bengals now with 25 straight points in this game. If they win it, will be the biggest come-from-behind road win in Cincinnati Bengal history. Back to Nashville. Music is stopped for the Titans here in Music City. They're going to get the ball back now, though, with a lot of time left, 10:15 to play, and the Bengals in the lead, 32-26. High spinning kickoff. Rice missed that one. It takes a one-hop. Joey Kent looking for a place to go, and he's to the 31-yard line. Time of possession as Jeff Blake, the quarterback for the Bengals, is having his calf iced down because of the thing. Bengals with a dominant time of possession advantage.
That's so important, especially over the course of the fourth quarter. The Titan defense has been on the field a long time today, and this heat, that's just accentuated now that they're really going to be called upon and have to stop the Bengals every single possession.
McNair telling us that the objective on the offense was to get at least 24 points. Had that many and more in the second quarter. No turnovers, but they turned the ball over twice. They want physical, hard-nosed play.
False start on the offense before the snap. Offense number 75.
And they want to minimize penalties to 2 or less. Well, they've both gone way over that. Jeff Fisher everything working out exactly as planned. You couldn't take it from the playbook to the playing field any better than Jeff and his staff did and his team through almost the first 2 quarters. And then the Bengals absolutely took over the game with 2 touchdowns in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Titans haven't scored 6. 7. It'll be a delay game. Legal procedure is the signal is against the Titans.
Before the snap, false start on the offense, number 72, 5 yards, first down.
Penalties are really the thing that is causing the Titans to stumble right now. You feel like they're really doing it to themselves, and they're in a tight spot. They've put themselves in a tight spot, and now they're starting to come apart at the seams.
They need a big downfield throw from McNair. First down and 20. There's a throw. Nice connection. Good yardage, not first down yardage. But the ball is advanced to the 32-yard line. Gain of about 12.
After he catches this ball, Kevin Dyson comes up and looks back at the bench and says, keep throwing me the football. He does not believe he can be covered today, and why should he? He's had a great play. He's made great play after great play for this team. And it doesn't take much success in this league to give you a lot of confidence, and he should have it about right now. They're going to give him the ball more.
Second down, they need 9. Dyson with 7 catches for 130 yards. And there's a sack of McNair. Busted through to get it was Takeo Spikes. And he might have taken the ball away.
Takeo Spikes stripped McNair of the football, and they're giving it back to the Bengals. What a play by the young linebacker.
Takeo, whose name means great warrior in Japanese. Takeo Spikes, the number 1 tackler in is that McNair who's down? I think it is. He's been shaken up.
That's Jeff Fisher out there also watching over his quarterback. And watch as Takeo Spikes comes in late off the block of Wycheck, keeps his feet, and then just rips the ball out from Steve McNair. You see how that's the injury that's going to be difficult for the Titans.
Steve McNair off the field, helped off. Apparently an injury to his right leg. It doesn't look to be serious. He walked off under his own power. While he was walking off, Jeff Blake came back on for the Bengals. He was with a cramp in the calf earlier. Here's Blake looking to throw. He's got a guy. Darnay Scott, he overshoots him. Darnay Scott, Jeff Blake is hobbling back. He started backpedaling out of disappointment. Now that cramp is coming back. I mean, this has been really a tough day for guys, given everything they got and then some more.
You can tell his leg is just locked up. He has no chance of being – he can't go.
You've seen this before, so he's coming back?
You feel like you get rid of one cramp, and as soon as you start to do anything physical, it grips you again. He's done for the day. And if he's got cramps that badly, he can't stay loose long enough to play.
And on the Titans sideline, they're stretching out Neil O'Donnell, the veteran who's ready to come in to quarterback the Tennessee Titans. That might not be good news for the Bengals because in the preseason, O'Donnell moved the Titans up and down the field against everybody. He'll be back with a great one in a moment. A moment ago, Jeff Blake, that cramping problem, coming back, had to leave the field. Taken off on a card. Steve Tasker said he won't be back even before they put him on the card. So the rookie, Keely Smith, is in. He hands up nicely up the middle to his fullback. Ryan Milne takes it straight ahead. Blake almost collapsed after he threw that long ball that missed Darnay Scott in the end zone. Watch him backpedal.
Well, as he comes back, you'll see here he just can't move fluidly enough to catch his own balance. And he's trying to watch the results of the play, but he just can't. You just can't use your feet. I mean, you can't move your legs. You stiffen up. It's like all of a sudden you're made out of 2x4s instead of bone and muscle.
Steve, they probably want to keep running it, you would think, because the field goal is given a 9-point lead. It's a long field goal from here. Well, let's see. On 3rd down and 8. Keely Smith, he's going to go to the run.
And they take the ball down to the 21-yard line. It will be a 38-yard field goal from here. Eddie Robinson on the tackle. The U.S. Open men's final is coming up next here on CBS Sports. Agassi versus Martin. What a final yesterday. Serena Williams, 17 years old, U.S. Open champion. What a victory.
It was a great moment. I'll tell you what, though. I'll take the Rebel today in the men's final.
Who's that?
Agassi.
Oh, yeah? The shaved down Agassi?
That's him.
Field goal try is on the way, and Pelfrey knocks it through again. That was huge. It extends the Bengals lead now to 9 points with 7:56 left to play. So now with McNair sidelined, coming off with an injury, O'Donnell ready to come in. The Titans are going to start firing when we come back. Back to live action. Here's the kickoff by the Bengals after they made the field goal to extend to a 9-point lead. Enter George, runs it back. Takes some shots. Very aggressive special teams play by the Bengals. Steve Foley, a linebacker from Northeast Louisiana, was the first man to make the tackle. Friday this fall on CBS, critics are saying Now and Again is the X-Files meets the $6 Million Man. Now and Again, series premiere on Friday, September 24th, here on CBS, America's most watched network. Yeah, McNair's back in, and it wasn't a warm welcome he got, Steve.
No, it's not. It doesn't take long, even on the opening day of the inaugural game in this stadium. If you don't play well, you're going to get booed.
He's 14 for 22, 263 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's a pretty nice day. This team is trailing. He's in trouble. He gets away. Takes a look.
There you go.
He's not done. He's out to the 39-yard line. He almost got the first down. Now they cheer him wildly. A 9-yard gain.
Well, that's why Steve McNair is a guy that you hate to take out of a football game. He's tough. He's hard-nosed. He even did it in the preseason. He will break tackles, cut back into traffic. And when you have a quarterback as a player, when you're standing on the sidelines, even if you're on the field as an offensive player, when you see your number one guy, your quarterback, pull this kind of stuff, man, there's no excuse. You're going to start playing hard.
And play hard they have to do to get back in this game. After the all-time comeback by a Cincinnati team on the road, here's a throw and a catch. Nice against the ball.
Yeah.
And they're going to rule him down to the 49-yard line. He did the right thing. He wasn't touched when he caught the ball on the ground. This isn't the college game.
That's a heads-up play by him. It looked as though the defender may have touched him as he went by, but Dyson didn't take it for granted. Got an extra 5 yards just by rolling over and lunging forward. It's a heads-up play when they really needed it.
Dyson's contribution has been huge to Tennessee. A career day, 8 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. McNair, dancing, looking. Fires on the run. Oh, a beautiful breakup. Coming in to make the play was Myron Bell, the ex-Steeler. Strong safety. Number 40 saved a big gain.
One of the things that's happening here is as the receivers come out, they'll run their route. Now they're looking. Now the play's broken. Now they're going to just freewheel it. This is nothing but instinct, and the player's going to the open area. And Myron Bell staying with Yancey Thigpen, breaking that pass up. That's a veteran play by a good safety.
McNair will be challenging again. He's got to throw downfield. 2nd down and 10. McNair from the shotgun. Here's the rush. Fires. Go to the wrong side of Yancey Thigpen. It's incomplete. And that brings up 3rd down and 10. McNair coming into this game is 20 and 18 as a starter for Tennessee. Fisher said, the coach, that it's not a fact we didn't throw deep balls last year, it's just that we didn't catch it. Jeff Fisher looked like a great opening day. Now the pressure builds on Jeff Fisher after 3 straight 8-8 seasons. Here's the throw and the catch. Beautifully done by the Tennessee Titans. Chris Sanders comes up and goes down with the ball. 10 yards downfield. Looks like he might have a first down. Let's see where the spot is. It's going to be short where they're spotting it.
Yeah, he came back to the football and came back past the first down marker. And now they're going to go no huddle and just go for it right here. They're in 4-down territory.
4th and a yard.
He got it.
McNair head down, takes it himself, has a first down for Tennessee.
There's no taking for granted a great, big, tall, strong quarterback. And that's all that was. There was no play call. That was probably just a tap on the center. Say, let's go right now. Didn't give the defense a chance to substitute, and they just got the first down when they needed it.
He is a big, strong quarterback at 6'2", 225. Passed in college for over 17,000 yards. Here's Dyson. Another catch by Kevin Dyson all the way down inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line. Takia Spikes gets him on the ground, but he does it 20 yards downfield. First down, Titans.
For the first time since the first quarter, the Titans look as though they've got it together offensively, and Kevin Dyson has been the catalyst all day for this offense. What a pleasant surprise he has been and is at this point in the season.
9 catches for Dyson, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, a career day. And 2 touchdown receptions all of his rookie season. McNair swings it out to Eddie George. He had an open track if the ball was on time, but it was a bit ahead of him.
That was a touchdown that just missed.
Javon Langford really forced that errant throw. He got a big pass rush, number 94 for the Bengals. The U.S. Open men's finals is coming up next here on CBS Sports. Andre Agassi and Todd Martin. Jeff Fisher, his heart has to be pounding as he watches his Titans try to get back in the game. Down by 9 on their home field. After they led by 19 points in the second quarter, they're down by 9. Second and 10. Swing pass to Eddie George. Open field. Tackle is broken. Eddie George is in. Touchdown, Tennessee. We're up and cheering again in Nashville. 67 points on the board, and we're not done. Very important extra point. If good, it would bring the Titans to within 2 points and within a field goal of winning the game. Up and good. It's a 35-33 game with 4:30 left to play, and in this league, that's a lot of time, Steve Tasker.
That's an eternity. And when you're a good football team in the NFL, you win because your best players make plays when the game's on the line. Eddie George is one of the best players in the league because he can do that for a football team. That's nothing but individual effort. And that in and of itself will pick up the entire sideline.
You often wonder why they don't do that more, but they just did. They missed a play that was wide open. Why not go right back to it? Eddie's a fiery leader, the Heisman Trophy winner in 95 out of Ohio State. Over 4,000 yards rushing in 3 seasons.
And he's been on the shelf for the entire game, has been stifled in the run game. But when they finally did get a chance to give him the ball with a little room, he picked the entire team up. And you see there, let's have a little home field advantage here.
Kendrick, who had 29 touchback kickoffs last year, ready to boom the ball. High spinning kick. Greg East, the rookie from Kentucky. They're hunting the ball. They're going to try and strip it. East is in trouble back at the 11-yard line. Terry Phoenix comes down and gets him along with Anthony Dorsett.
Momentum is a really tricky thing to catch in a football game, and once you get it, there's no telling where it'll carry you if you just have the players that can ride it to the end. Right now, the Titans have got everything going their way, and now the crowd is back into it.
And they've got another rookie in at quarterback. This is Scott Covington. Jeff Blake, who led the way in the comeback, out with a cramp. He can't go. Achilles Smith, they're concerned he doesn't know the offense. They reported late. And now they go with another rookie. The noise is tremendous. Penalty markers are down. And the ball carrier's on the run. Corey Dillon sprints ahead. And he's still going all the way out to the midfield line. But let's see what the penalty markers are. They're in the backfield of the Bengals. This is huge. Here's Mike Carey. Against the offense.
There's an illegal shift in the backfield for the Bengals. And you have to wonder if Covington maybe miscalled something in the huddle, or it's just the sound of his voice that guys are not used to jumping with.
Two men moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
That's a home field advantage penalty.
There is Scott Covington, drafted in the 7th round. It was a bitter disappointment for him. He thought he would started for the Hurricanes last year, played well. He's going to have to throw, though. They can't punt here. It's an automatic field goal for Del Greco, who's been the game. They need a first down. There's a throw and a catch. Carl Pickens, a quick out to Pickens. He's to the 10-yard line. He got back the penalty yard. He's 2nd and 5.
One consideration of why they may have put Scott Covington in the ballgame is the playlist that he's comfortable with or that they have in the ballgame may be more appropriate for this situation than Achilles Smith's list.
Well, Achilles Smith's list is awfully short after missing virtually all the preseason.
And you got to think Scott Covington is just along the same lines. Neither one of these guys has any experience at this position.
What a game on opening day in Nashville. 2nd down and 11. They run the ball and nowhere. Jason Fisk and Eddie Robinson combine on the stop.
We've talked a lot today about how these two teams mirror each other. Young cornerbacks, a running and mobile quarterback, a big running back. One place where these two teams are different is a backup quarterback. Neil O'Donnell for the Titans and 2 young rookies for the Bengals.
There's Achilles Smith standing on the sideline. He was in very briefly. This should be the biggest down of the game, or certainly one of them. 3rd down and 11. Pickens comes near side to the left. East and Darnay Scott to the right. The rookie Covington just in the game. Makes a drop. They go to a draw. Corey Dillon gets to the 10-yard line. And so they'll go to their punter. They've given him room to punt. And now it'll be up to the Bengal defense to try and stop the onslaught of the Titans. And the Titans call a timeout with 2:37 left to play. Jeff Blake, because of cramps, had to leave the game after leading the Bengals from behind in this game. So you live by rookies, you could die by them.
One thing that we have to remember as well, Will Bryce has also had a punt blocked in this game, and you know that the Titans are thinking that he's going to have to get a great punt off there. He's thinking nothing about but punting this football as far as he can possibly punt it. But sometimes when a punter does that, it takes him a little longer to get it off.
Yeah, we remember vividly that block punt earlier in the game. Will Bryce coming up after the game. Stay tuned for the U.S. Open men's final. Andre Agassi goes for his 2nd major of the year as he faces the Todd Cardinal Championship right here on CBS. Right now, huge crowd noise, and the snap from center is enormous. Down over the ball, a speed push, the long snapper. He drills the bullet back, big rush. Well, it was a punt by Bryce. Driving Yancey Thigpen back to his 30, but he's got room to return it. Thigpen on from behind at midfield. And there, with 2:24 left to play after a tackle by Lawrence Wright, the Titans down by 2 on their home field take over the ball. 60-yard punt, a 20-yard return. David Mitchell, one of the kick coverers for the Tennessee Titans, appears to be down. Donald Mitchell. McNair, 18 of 29. He has a career high yardage in this game, Steve. 319 yards passing.
And one of the things you have to remember, all they need here is about 18 yards of field position to get into Al Del Greco's field goal range. He has already hit a 50-yarder today going the other direction, and he made that one by about 5 yards.
A long time to go, 2:24 left to play in the game. What a wild game it's been. You joined us late. The Tennessee Titans built a 26-7 lead with 5:12 to play in the first half. 26-7 they led by 19. The Bengals roared back, scored 2 touchdowns in the final 1:55 of the half. Opened the third quarter with another touchdown, took the lead, which they later built to 9 points after trailing by 19. But now their lead, the Bengals, is down to 2, 35-33. And yet another of the walking wounded leaves the battlefield. It's been a war on opening day in Nashville, and it's not over yet. George McCullough coming off the field. Bruce Coslett, whose team showed very little in the preseason, who came in with a brilliant game plan. Looked like his team was out, down and outer first half. And all the Tennessee coaches said, we want to hit them hard and early and take their confidence away. They got him down early, but they didn't take the confidence away. Now let's see if the Bengal defense can rise up against McNair, who's having a career passing day. 319 yards. First down. Here comes the blitz. McNair swings it out to Eddie George. Beautifully conceived play, and Eddie George stays in bounds. That's not what they wanted to do to the 19-yard line. That'll take it down to the 2-minute warning. Oliver Gibson gets him down. Nicely done. An all-out blitz, and McNair coolly watches Steve, and then lofted the ball to Eddie George. Close to a first down. The game is on the line for both teams in this drive by the Tennessee Titans. Down by 2 to Cincinnati, 35-33. Del Greco.
Del Greco, during warm-ups, at this end of the football field, he could not get it there from 53 yards in. But from 50, he could probably just make it. That's 8 yards away for the Titans.
He is kicking into some wind. Second and short. They didn't get the first down on that previous play, and now it appears that they do. And the clock runs, 1:51 and ticking.
And just like the score has seesawed and the momentum has seesawed, now the clock management goes in favor of the Titans. It looked like they were going to run out of time to come back in this football game, and now they're content to let this clock run down.
68 points and almost 800 yards offense in this game combined. First and 10. McNair, multiple wideouts, and a tight end in motion. The guy he likes so much to throw to, Wycheck. Quick out. They get the ball. Wycheck blocks. Yancey Thigpen gets to the 30. Get at 17 from here. The clock runs, though. It's still ticking down. It's a 47-yard field goal from here. If Del Greco is called on, and it looks like he will be, a Del Greco kick would be like the El Greco, the Spanish master. It would be the decider. Here's a throw. They get it, and out of bounds goes the receiver. Coming down with the ball is tight end Frank Wycheck. Well done, and they stop the clock.
Now, if your offense can come down and make it happen, give Al Del Greco a chance to win the football game, all is forgiven. You've come back when you needed to. You've weathered the storm. The Bengals played an outstanding football game, and you can leave this game feeling good about yourself because you won it when you had to win it.
Into the final minute of the game. 58 ticks to go. Tennessee down by 2. First down and 10. Pitch back. Eddie George running hard behind blockers. To the 15-yard line.
We spoke to Yancey Thigpen yesterday, and he said even though the Titans beat the Cincinnati Bengals last year on opening day, they didn't feel good about it. They didn't play well. They managed to hang in and win, but they wanted to play well. Now, today, with Eddie George finishing the game so strongly with Steve McNair finding Kevin Dyson throughout the day, they're going to feel a lot better about their chances throughout the rest of the season.
The first regular season NFL game in Nashville for the Tennessee Titans. It's one they'll remember a long time. A wild game on 2nd and short. Quarterback Steve McNair with his head down behind his all-pro center Bruce Matthews, an 11-time Pro Bowl player. They power ahead for a gain down to the 15-yard line. It's a first down for the Titans. And Jeff Fisher, who looked to have a team in deep trouble not that long ago, now lets the clock tick down.
They'll call a timeout when the play clock gets to 1 second. No, it looks like they're going to try and get one off right
I would
here.
think Cincinnati with 2 timeouts would call it now to get a shot to get something downfield.
I agree.
I'm surprised Cincinnati's not calling a timeout. The U.S. Open Men's Championship is next here on CBS Sports. Andre Agassi and Todd Martin square off in a heavyweight championship match on the tennis court at Flushing Meadows, New York. 12 seconds to go. Leave a little time in case it's a bad snap. So here comes Al Del Greco out to boot it.
As we mentioned earlier, Al Del Greco tied a club record for 18 straight field goals today. But none of those 18 is going to mean any more than this one right here.
The guy, the all-time leading scorer in the franchise, almost 850 points for his career. In his 16th year from Auburn. For his career, he is a 76% plus field goal kicker. His holder is the punter, Craig Hendrick. Bruce Matthews is the kick center snapper.
It's good for him and Terry.
3 guys have to be perfect on this with 12 seconds left. He's hit his last 18 field goals, Del Greco.
Now Cincinnati takes a timeout.
I mean, they would have had over 30 seconds left to try to get something downfield for their kicker.
It's obvious they realized that they were not going to be able to have enough time on the clock once the Titans were running the football as they were. So they elected to just try and make Del Greco miss the field goal.
Line of scrimmage, the 15-yard line. That would make it a 17 yards back from that, a 32-yard field goal. 7 yards back for the hole, 10 yards deep into the end zone.
Both of these teams realize this is a huge game. For the Bengals, it was a huge road game to go on the road in the division on opening day. They played extremely well, but this game would have been a huge boost to a team trying to bounce back from a 3-13 season last year. And for Jeff Fisher, we've already spoken. He's been given a mandate by the owner. You get to the playoffs this year, your job's in jeopardy. So how big do you think this game is for him?
Enormous. Percentages are enormously in favor of the Titans. Del Greco, as mentioned, has made 18 consecutive field goals in regular season play.
That could be one like Liverpool.
On the way. Down the middle. Al Del Greco hits it, and the Titans take the lead with 8 seconds to play. And why did Cincinnati not call a timeout earlier and let the clock run down? An unbelievable comeback and absolutely devastating loss for the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's watch Jeff Fisher. Kind of expected that, but you know that heart is pounding like a drum.
19 in a row for Al Del Greco. For the club record, Jeff Fisher's just another kick for him, but as he watches it, Bruce Cobbett, that's a huge effort by his team, negated by that kick right there.
So we have time for a kickoff with 8 seconds left, and you know they won't kick it deep. Will they squib it down? They probably kick deep because you can't risk getting a shot at a field goal.
As a special teams player in this situation, I was in it a number of times. As a coverage guy, you wanted your kicker to hit a ground ball right into the hole. Just hit it down there and give them problems. It's always so difficult to field a bouncing football. This thing isn't like a grounder to shortstop. That thing's got points on it. Right. Every time it bounces down there, you don't know where it's going to do, and that's a huge problem for the team that has to pick it up.
Hendrick kicks off. He does hit a hard ground ball downfield. Clock stops when it's touched. They're going to let it roll out of bounds.
And so they'll get relatively good field position. Time for a sideline throw and maybe a record field goal attempt by Doug Pelfrey.
You're not upset about that penalty. Yeah, you kicked it out of bounds, but with 8 seconds left, you don't give up the big return. You don't give up the huge play. How many games have been lost on a kickoff return? Well, not many, but you don't want to be the guy that gives it up.
Well, the ball comes out to the 40-yard line. From here, it would be a 77-yard field goal. I don't think so. I was there when Tom Dempsey kicked a 63-yarder. You see crazy things. Of course, they're kicking with the new balls this year. It's harder to kick. They don't get their own well-worn ball.
You know, Carl Pickens is now on the field. This is exactly why Carl Pickens is a great player. He can go up and get these, but they have one shot. Period. That is it.
And they're sending the biggest arm out there. Now Achilles Smith is coming back in. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to air it out deep.
Achilles Smith very well could reach the end zone.
Oh, yes. This man can throw it as far as you want to go. So they've used the 2 rookie quarterbacks. Now it's time for one long play. Down by a point, 36-35. 8 seconds to go. Up by 19. The Titans fell behind by 9. Now they lead by 1.
In a normal game, if it was a blowout, you wouldn't even look at this play. But now you don't know what's going to happen. This could come through.
Sideline throw, and they make the tackle inbounds. And they call timeout with 1 second left. So from the 49-yard line, we're looking at a 67-yard field goal. Look at
Achilles Smith.
He's warming up that.
He's got his windmill going on his arm.
Like a 1900 pitcher.
That's almost like giving away you don't have poker face at all. You know, everybody in the stadium knows what you're warming up to do.
What an ending. They're dropping back. It looks like an army of defenders for the Titans.
They'll rush the pass with 3 guys. They'll defend the reception with 8 men.
Jump ball in the end zone.
And it's going to have to get to the end zone.
Well, Pickens is the 7-foot high jumper. That was the first career completion for Achilles Smith as he keeps. Get that hose ready. Let her whip.
He's got a hose, too. He can reach.
You like offense. Today, 71 points, 792 yards offense. 3-man rush. Achilles Smith stands in. There it goes, a high ball. Pickens is out there. Incomplete. The game is over, and the Titans have come back to win on opening day in their home stadium. What an ending. Well, now for Steve Tasker, this is Don Crickey saying so long from Nashville. Our final score is the Titans 36, the Bengals 35. We'll get you to Jim Nantz in our NFL studio right after this message and a word from your local station. Glad you can be with us on a wild day in Music City.
National Football League.
My gosh, what a game. Let me be on the lookout for that kid from Michigan, Tom Brady. He could be a sleeper pick in the 2000 draft. Bengals should tank him all year. Yeah, that's funny. I might go live again tomorrow night. I'm not sure, but don't forget to like and subscribe. And that was fun. Stream.